Lord Peter Wimsey. Starring Ian Carmichael as Lord Peter and Peter Jones as Bunter, with Martin Jarvis as George Fentiman. The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers, adapted in 6 episodes by Chris Miller. Episode 1, Armistice Night.
Hey, Wimsey. I say, Wimsey. Wimsey!
Oh, hello, Fentiman.
What are you doing in this morgue?
Oh, I wouldn't call it that, George. Funeral parlour at the very most. I mean, look at the marble, look at the furnishings. Look at the palms and that chaste bronze nude in the corner.
Yes, and look at the corpses. Clubs like this always remind me of that old thing in Punch. You know, waiter, take away Lord What's-his-name, he's been dead 2 days. Look at old Ormsby there, snoring like hippopotamus. And look at my revered grandpa. Dodders in here at 10 every morning, collects the Morning Post on the armchair by the fire, and becomes part of the furniture till the evening. Poor old devil. Suppose I'll be like that one of these days.
Cheer up, George. All this Remembrance Day business gets on your nerves, don't it? I mustn't say so, though, I suppose. They'd hoof me out of the club if I raised my voice beyond a whisper.
Well, they'd do that anyway, whatever you were saying. What are you doing here, incidentally?
Waiting for Colonel Marchbanks.
Dining with him?
How are things going with you?
Oh, rotten, as usual. Tummy all wrong, no money. What's the damn good of it, Wimsey? A man goes out and fights for his country, gets his inside gassed out, loses his job, and all they give him is the privilege of marching past the cenotaph once a year and paying 4 shillings in the pound income tax. Sheila's queer, too. Overworked, poor girl. It's pretty damnable for a man to have to live on his wife's earnings, isn't it? But I can't help it. I go sick and have to chuck jobs up. Money. I never thought of money before the war, but I swear nowadays I'd commit any damn crime to get hold of a decent income.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. Crime's a skilled occupation, don't you know? So if you're thinking of putting on a false moustache and lamming the millionaire on the head, don't do it. I'd find you out in no time. But seriously, I'm sorry to hear about Sheila, old lad. Look, I don't want to be offensive, but... Well, why don't you let me...
No. Damn good of you, but I don't care to, thanks. There's honestly not the faintest chance that I could ever pay you back. Oh, here's Colonel Marchbanks.
Ah. Well, we'll talk about it another time, George. Evening, Colonel.
Evening, Peter. Evening, Fentiman.
Colonel?
I say, is that your grandfather over there?
With his legs propped up on the stool like a pair of matchsticks. Yes, that's the General.
Excuse me one moment, would you? Must go have a word with him.
He's over 90, you know, my grandpa, Wimsey. Queer, isn't it, that for him the Crimea is still the war, and the Boer business found him too old to go out. He was given his commission at 17, you know, was wounded at Majuba.
Hang on a minute, George.
What's up?
I'm not exactly sure, but the Colonel seems to... Hello, he's coming back.
Well, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Shh. What is it, Colonel?
I'm afraid something rather unpleasant has happened, Peter. Go and take a look at General Fentiman. Fred?
Sir?
See if Dr. Penrith is in the club and ask him to come here at once, if he is.
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Well, Peter?
He's as stiff as a wooden doll. Rigor mortis fairly advanced.
What's the matter? What's the... He's dead! Take him away! Take him away! He's been dead 2 days! So am I! We're all dead and we never noticed it!
All right, George, all right. Now, calm down, old lad. Take it easy. There's a good fellow. Challoner?
I'll take him to the library.
Yes. Righty-ho, lad, yes. Poor devil's nerves are shot to pieces.
Come along,
Dead!
Fentiman.
He's dead! We're all dead!
There's Pemberthy. Pemberthy! Over here.
Don't rush me, Wimsey. Excuse me, gentlemen.
Born at last, I suppose.
Yes. Rigo well established. Beginning to pass off by the look of this knee.
Odd that, isn't it?
What? Oh, I've been expecting this. Heart very weak. Might happen any moment. Anyone spoken to him today?
Oh, Yes, I saw him after lunch. I didn't speak, though.
Nor I. Thought he was asleep.
He usually is, what? Oh, was, I mean.
No one spoke to him then. Oh, well, what's the time? 7? Say 5 hours for Riger to set in. Must have taken place very rapidly. He probably came in at his usual time, sat down, and died almost immediately. Well, there's nothing to be done. Went in his sleep. Would somebody ask the secretary if there's an empty bedroom we can put him in?
Yes.
Oh, there you are, Cuddy.
James, fetch the key of number 16 from my office and tell them to put the bed in order. I suppose, Doctor, when this Riger passes off, we shall be able to...
Oh, yes. You'll be able to do everything that's required. I'll send the proper people in to lay him out for you. Somebody had better let his people know. Only they'd better not show up till we can get him more presentable.
Captain Fentiman knows already. Major Fentiman's staying at the club. He'll probably be in before long.
Oh.
And there's a sister, I think.
Oh, yes, old Lady Dormer. She lives round in Portman Square. They haven't been on speaking terms for years. Still, she'll have to know.
Lady Dormer, you say? I say not rarely. Was she the old boy's sister?
Yes, man, why?
Lady Dormer was an old friend of my wife's, and she passed away, died, you know. Lady Dormer died at 10:30 this morning.
Mr. Murbles, my lord.
Marbles, good evening.
I'm not disturbing you, I trust, Lord Peter.
Good Lord, no, my dear fellow. Very glad you turned up. The Coburn 86 always tastes a lot better in company. Discerning company, that is. Bunter, a glass for Mr. Murbles.
Very good, my lord.
Thank you, Bunter, thank you. You're quite well, I trust?
I am in excellent health, I'm obliged to you, sir.
That's good. Been doing any photography lately?
A certain amount, sir, but merely of a pictorial description, if I may venture to call it so. Criminological material has been distressingly deficient of late.
Well, perhaps Mr. Murbles has brought us something, Bunter.
No, I can't say that I have precisely, Lord Peter. Nothing of an undesirable nature is involved, I fear. That is, I trust.
If you will excuse me now, my lord.
Yes, righty ho, Bunter.
Thank you, my lord.
Well, Murbles, what's on your mind?
Well, the fact is, Lord Peter, a curious question has arisen with regard to the sad death last week of General Fentiman at the Bellona Club, to which I understand you were a witness.
Well, if you understand that, Murbles, you understand a lot more than I do. I didn't witness the death. I witnessed the discovery of the death, which is a very different thing by a long chalk.
By how long a chalk? That is just what I'm trying to find out.
Really? Well, pray go on.
Very well, let me begin at the beginning. The facts of the matter are these. General Fentiman had, as you know, a sister, Felicity, 12 years younger than himself. She was very beautiful and willful as a girl. This is some 60 years ago, of course. And one day she went out before breakfast and got married in the most indecent secrecy to a middle-aged man called Dormer. Very honest and abundantly wealthy, but, horrid to relate, a prosperous manufacturer. Buttons, in fact, were the revolting antecedents to which this headstrong young Victorian had allied herself.
Oh, most distressing. So what happened?
Well, naturally there was a terrible scandal, and the parents did their best, seeing that Felicity was a minor, to get the marriage annulled. However, she checkmated their plans pretty effectually by running away with her husband, and he, being a man of prompt action, lost no time in putting her in the family way. And so the old people put the best face they could on it in the grand Victorian manner. That is, they gave their consent to the marriage, forwarded their daughter's belongings to her new home in Manchester, and forbade her to darken their doors again.
Highly proper.
Yes, Lord Peter. Young Arthur Fentiman seems to have shared the family views. In due course, he himself was married to a suitable gentlewoman with a few £1,000s, but she died early, and left a numerous but feeble family of children. Of these, the only one to attain maturity was the father of the two Fentimans you know, Major Robert and Captain George Fentiman.
I don't know Robert very well. I've met him once, frightfully hearty and all that. Regular army type, what?
Yes. At any rate, up till 10 days ago, there were just these 4 Fentimans surviving. Robert and George, and the General and his sister, Lady Dormer, from the earlier generation.
What about Lady Dormer's child?
She died in infancy.
I see.
The old General lived on a small fixed income which came to him through his wife and his army pension. He had a solitary little flat in Dover Street and an elderly manservant called Woodward, and he practically lived at the Bellona Club.
And Lady Dormer?
She resided in Portman Square with a distant relative, a Miss Anne Dorland. And though she was a fine, generous-hearted woman and frequently made overtures of peace towards her brother, he held sternly aloof, as I say, and refused to acknowledge the existence of anybody called Dormer. I hope I'm not boring you, by the way.
I'm bearing up. Waiting for the point where the money comes in. There is a steely legal glitter in your eye mobiles which suggests that the thrill is not far off.
Quite correct. I now come... Oh, thank you. Well, yes, I will just take one more glass. We now come to the melancholy event of November the 11th last, and I must ask you to follow me with the closest attention, Lord Peter.
By all means.
Lady Dormer was an old woman, and had been ailing for a very long time, and in the first week of November she caught a severe cold which turned quickly to pneumonia. On November the 10th she was sinking fast and scarcely expected to live out the night. Accordingly, Miss Anne Dorland, the companion, sent a message to General Fentiman that if he wished to see his sister alive, he should come immediately.
After so long?
Yes. And for the sake of our common human nature, I am happy to say that this news broke down the barrier of pride and obstinacy that had kept the old gentleman away all these years. He came, found Lady Dormer just conscious, though very feeble, stayed with her about half an hour and departed, still stiff as a ramrod, but visibly softened. This was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Shortly afterwards, Lady Dormer became unconscious and indeed never moved or spoke again, passing peacefully away in her sleep at 10:30 the following morning.
And you think the shock and nervous strain of the interview were too much for the old boy's feeble system, so that he too died sometime that same day?
Sometime the same day, yes. Exactly what time we do not, of course, know. And here, Lord Peter, we come to the point at which I would like your help. I am the Fentimans' family solicitor, and shortly after the war was responsible for drawing up a new will for General Fentiman. There was a small legacy of £50 to his manservant Woodward, and 1 or 2 trifling requests to old military friends. Then came the bulk of his estate, about £2,000 invested in sound securities, and bringing in an income of slightly over £100 per annum. These securities, specifically named and enumerated, were left to Captain George Fentiman, the younger grandson. It being the General's view that being disabled, married, and so forth, he stood in greater need than his brother. Robert was, however, named as executor and residuary legatee, thus succeeding to all such personal effects and moneys as were not specifically devised elsewhere.
Was Robert satisfied with that arrangement?
Oh, dear, yes, perfectly. He knew all about the will beforehand and agreed that it was quite fair and right.
Nevertheless, it appears to be such a small matter on the face of it that you must be concealing something perfectly devastating up your sleeve. Now, out with it, man. Come on, out with it. Whatever the shock may be, I am braced to bear it.
The shock was inflicted on me personally on Monday by Lady Dormer's man of business, Mr. Pritchard of Lincoln's Inn. Having made an appointment, he called to see me, and when he arrived, informed me of the following particulars. A good many years before her death, Lady Dormer, who, as I said before, was an eminently generous-minded woman, made a will. Her husband was then dead, and had left her something like £700,000. And in her will she divided this very handsome fortune between the people who, for one reason or another, had the greatest claim on her affection. £12,000 were to go to Miss Anne Dorland. The whole of the remainder was to pass to her brother, General Fentiman, if he was still living at her death. If, on the other hand, he should predecease her, the conditions were reversed. In that case, the bulk of the money came to Miss Dorland, and only £15,000 were to be equally divided between Major Robert Fentiman and his brother George.
Interesting.
I quite agree with you. It is a most awkward situation. Lady Dormer died at precisely 10:37 a.m. on November the 11th. General Fentiman died that same day, presumably after 10 o'clock, which was his usual hour for arriving at the Bellona Club, and certainly before 7 p.m. when his death was discovered. If he died immediately on his arrival, or at any time up to 10:36, then Miss Anne Dorland is an important heiress, and my clients, the Fentimans, get only £7,000 or so apiece. If, on the other hand, his death occurred even a few seconds after 10:37, Miss Dorland receives only £12,000. George Fentiman is left with a small pittance bequeathed to him under his grandfather's will, while Robert Fentiman, the residual legatee, inherits a very considerable fortune of well over £500,000.
Well, well, well. And what marbles do you want me to do about it?
I would be grateful, Lord Peter, if, without creating any public agitation or scandal, you'd discover for me and my clients the precise moment of General Fentiman's death.
Bunter? My lord? Bunter, I'm going down to the Bellona Club this morning to see Dr. Pemberthy. I'd like you to follow on with your camera and the rest of the paraphernalia in about an hour's time, when I will tell you what I want you to do.
Very good, my lord. I take it your lordship has a new inquiry in hand.
Yes, Bunter. Quite new. Now, Bunter, you are quite sure that this suit is all right, are you? No, I want to look approachable, but on no account loud. And I can't help wondering whether the stripe of invisible green wouldn't have looked better if it had been a remote purple.
No, my lord, I do not think purple would be an improvement.
Oh, well, thank goodness. I'm sure you're right, Bunter. You always are. Well, give me the Malacca, would you, with the foot rule marked on it? Thank you. And where's my magnifying lens?
Here, my lord.
Aha.
And the fingerprint powder is in your lordship's right-hand coat pocket.
Thank you. Well, I think that's all. Oh, by the way, you don't know a fella by the name of Woodward, do you? Elderly, valeted the late General Fentiman for years.
No, my lord, I do not. But if your lordship wishes it, I could make inquiries of the Honourable Frederick Arbuthnot's man, who is a friend of mine. He has a wide circle of friends in service, my lord, and could no doubt arrange an introduction.
Well, do that then, would you? And I'll expect you at the Bellona Club with the doings in about an hour's time.
Very good, my lord.
Pemberthy! Hello, you're just the man I want to see.
Oh, hello, Wimsey. What's up?
Well, I just wanted a word with you about old Fentiman. Frightfully confidential and all that, don't you know? Look, do you mind if we go in the library? It may be a bit more private in there.
Oh, certainly. What's the problem, exactly?
Well, it seems the precise time of the poor old blighter's departure has become an important item. After you.
Thank you.
Question of succession, do you get me? They don't want a barmaid, so they've asked me as a friend of the family and all that, don't you know, to barge around and ask a few questions. Well, so far I haven't been able to find out what time he actually arrived here that morning, so working backwards, what is your opinion as to when the old boy died?
Well, one can't say to a minute when a man died by looking at his back teeth, you know.
Well, of course not, but... Well, I would have said that he'd been dead a long time. The rigor mortis was beginning to pass off, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I thought that rigor usually lasted 24 hours or so.
Oh, sometimes it goes off quickly. Quick come, quick go, as a rule. Still, I agree with you that in the absence of other evidence, I should have put the death rather earlier than 10 o'clock. I can only suppose that, what with the death being sudden, and what with the warmth of the room, he was very close to the fire, you know, the whole thing came on and worked itself off very quickly.
Oh, well, that's all right, Pemberthy, but when? Just when did it happen?
Lord knows, I don't.
Are you perfectly satisfied about the death, by the way?
Satisfied? Yes, of course. I shouldn't have given a certificate if I hadn't been satisfied.
Nothing about the body struck you as queer?
What sort of thing?
You know what I mean as well as I do.
You mean the knee?
I mean the knee. Old Fentiman's left leg swung loose at the knee. Not knowing quite what it meant and seeing you didn't want to call attention to it, I didn't put myself forward at the time.
No, I wanted to think it over. You see, it suggested at the first blush something rather...
Unpleasant?
Yes.
Yes, well, let's face it, Pemberthy. Let's admit straight away that when Riga starts to go, it usually begins with the face and jaw, and not suddenly in one knee joint. And Fentiman's jaw and neck were as rigid as wood. I felt them. Riga just starting to go off, I should say, but no more. So how do you explain it?
It's extremely puzzling. As no doubt you are aware, the obvious explanation would be that the joint had been forcibly loosened by somebody or something after Riga had set in. In that case, it wouldn't stiffen up again. But how it happened... The only thing I could think of was that a waiter or somebody had found him and tried to move him, and then got frightened and barged off without saying anything. It sounds absurd, but we have one or two shell-shock cases here that I wouldn't answer for in an emergency.
Now, that's an idea. I wonder if George Fentiman was alone in the smoking room at any time during the day. You know, he might possibly lose his head, what? I mean, you know, if he suddenly came on the stiff course of his grandpapa.
It's very possible, yes.
Well, I'll have a try to finding that out. Yes, Fred, can I help you?
Your lordship's man is here, my lord, and says you may wish to be advised of his arrival.
Yes, quite right. I'm just coming.
I must be off too, Wimsey. Due at my surgery.
Righty-ho.
I'll see you another time.
Yes, cheerio, and thank you so much. Hello, what's this? I say, that's interesting. Very interesting. So you understand what I want you to do, Bunter?
Yes, my lord. Your lordship requires photographs of the smoking room, the library, and the anteroom between the two.
That's it. Now, we'd better look into the secretary's office just to let him know what we're up to.
Come in.
Oh, morning, Collier.
Oh, hello, Wimsey.
Come in, Bunter. Look, I say, Collier, you recollect old Fentiman popping off in that inconsiderate way a little time ago?
Not likely to forget it. Since Armistice Day, I've had 3 notes of complaint about it from that infernal grumbler Weatheridge. 1, because the servants didn't notice the matter earlier, set of inattentive rascals and all that. 2, because the undertaker's men had to take the coffin past his door and disturbed him. And 3, because he says the telephone between the smoking room and the library was out of order that morning or some such rot.
Well, what does that have to do with the old general?
Lord knows, the telephone wasn't out of order anyway. But Weatheridge insists there was a notice saying it was on the door. Now, who'd be a secretary?
Awfully sorry for you, old lad. But look, I'm not here to make trouble. The fact is, there's a bit of a muddle about the exact minute the old boy passed out, and I'm having a look into it. Don't want to fuss me, but I'd like a few photographs of the place just to keep the lie of the land under my hawk-like optic, what? Bunter here's got a camera. Look, do you mind pretending that he's the bloke from the Twaddler or the Picture News or something and giving him your official blessing while he totters around with the doings?
Mysterious idiot. Well, of course, if you like. What do you want done?
Well, I don't want to go round with Bunter myself. Give the show away, don't you know. May he operate from here?
Certainly. Look, I must go and see about some wine now, Wimsey. Can I leave you to it?
Yes, righty-ho, Collier. Yes, and thanks awfully.
Yeah.
You know, Bunter, there is something odd about this case. I've spoken to the commissioner, the assistant commissioner, the hall porter, and the cloakroom attendant this morning. And not one of them remembers seeing the old general arrive here on Armistice Day. Now, why should that be?
I couldn't say, my lord.
You don't think that he was never here at all, do you? Walking about invisible and trying hard to communicate like the unfortunate ghost in that story of somebody or others?
The general must have been here in the body, my lord, because there was the body.
Yes, that's true. Yes, I'm afraid we can't explain away the body. But what time did he arrive? That is what I would like to know. The manservant fellow, Woodward, could help us there. Look, have you had any luck with him?
Oh, yes, my lord. I'm being taken round to meet him after luncheon.
Well, excellent. Then be sure to get out of him, Bunter, every possible detail about what the general did on November the 10th. His visit to his sister and all that, and what time it was in the afternoon and so forth. And most important of all, find out precisely when the old boy left his flat on the morning of the 11th. That'll give us a line on when he arrived here.
Very good, my lord.
Wimsey speaking.
My lord?
Where are you, Bunter?
At the late General Fentiman's flat, my lord.
Well, what have you got to report?
With regard to the General's movements on November the 10th, my lord, Woodward informs me that the telephone call from Lady Dormer's requesting the General's presence at her ladyship's bedside came through at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
To the flat, do you mean?
Yes, my lord. Woodward tells me that in order to spare the General any unnecessary shock, he went down to the Bellona Club in order to break the news to him in person. The General, it seems, was somewhat taken aback by it, but after a few minutes said to Woodward that he considered it his duty to go. Whereupon, my lord, Woodward wrapped him up carefully and put him into a taxi. And that, my lord, was the last time Woodward saw him.
The last time?
Yes, my lord. Woodward tells me that when General Fentiman failed to return at his usual time of 7:30, he thought he was perhaps staying to dine at Lady Dormer's and took no notice of it. However, my lord, by 9 o'clock he began to be worried and was just thinking of calling up the household at Lady Dormer's to ask when he was to be expected home when the telephone rang. It was a gentleman who said, "Is that Woodward?" And Woodward replied that it was. And then the caller said, "Woodward, General Fentiman wishes me to tell you not to wait up for him as he is spending the night with me." So Woodward said, "Excuse me, sir, who is it speaking, please?" And the gentleman said, "Mr. Oliver, my lord."
Oliver?
Yes, my lord.
So General Fentiman never came home that night?
No, my lord.
Bunter, don't move from where you are. I am coming round at once.
Very good, my lord.
In that episode of The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club, the parts were played as follows. Lord Peter Wimsey, Ian Carmichael. Bunter, Peter Jones. George Fentiman, Martin Jarvis. Mr. Murbles, John Gabriel. Dr. Penberthy, Christopher Emmett. Collier, Blaine Fairman. Challoner, John Dunbar. Colonel Marchbanks, Wilfred Carter. Armistice Night was adapted by Chris Miller from the book The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers. The programme was produced by Simon Brett. Lord Peter Wimsey. Starring Ian Carmichael as Lord Peter, with Alan Cuthbertson as Robert Fentiman, Martin Jarvis as George Fentiman, and Gabriel Wolfe as Inspector Parker. The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers, adapted in 6 episodes by Chris Miller. Episode 2, The General's Last Evening. Lord Peter Wimsey is trying to discover the precise time of General Fentiman's death at the Bellona Club on Armistice Day. When Woodward, the General's manservant, informs Bunter that the old man never returned home the previous night, Wimsey hurries round to the General's flat to investigate. The door is opened by the General's elder grandson, Major Robert Fentiman.
Ah, there you are, Wimsey. Your man Bunter said you were on your way round. Come in. He's popped out, by the way, to get some more plates for his camera. Said he thought you'd want him to take a few shots. Deuced professionally looks with it, I must say.
What are you doing here, Fentiman, if I may ask?
Oh, I thought I might as well camp here for a bit while I got the old man's belongings settled up. I'm his executor, you know, so all this fuss about the will's rather my problem. Very decent of you to lend us a hand, incidentally. But I say, what do you think will happen if you can't discover whether grandfather or great-aunt Dormer died first?
Well, I hope it won't come to that. As you know, Fentiman, if the old boy died after 10:37 on November the 11th, he inherited a small fortune from his sister, which now all comes to you as his residuary legatee. If, on the other hand, he died before 10:37, you and George get 7,000 each, and Miss Anne Dorland gets the rest. Dr. Penberthy thinks it probable that the old boy died the moment he sat down by the smoking-room fire. So clearly the first thing to discover is when exactly he got to the club that morning.
I see, yes.
And according to Woodward, he didn't come home the night before.
So I believe.
I'd like to ask Woodward a few questions, if I may.
Oh, righto. I don't know whether he'll be able to help you very much, though. Oh, Woodward.
Yes, sir?
Woodward, this is Lord Peter Wimsey.
Good afternoon, my lord.
Good afternoon, Woodward. Forgive me raking this up, won't you, but Bunter tells me you received a telephone call from a Mr. Oliver on the evening of the 10th, in which he said that the General would be spending the night with him.
That is correct, my lord.
Did the General often stay out at night, Woodward?
Oh, never, my lord. I don't recollect such a thing happening once in 5 or 6 years.
And you never heard of this Mr. Oliver?
Never, my lord.
His voice wasn't familiar?
I couldn't say but what I might have heard it before, my lord, but I find it very difficult to recognize voices on the telephone.
Do you know anything about the man, Fentiman?
Oh, yes, I've met him. At least I suppose it's the same man, but I know nothing about him. I fancy I ran across him once in some frightful crash or other, a public dinner or something of that kind, and he said he knew my grandfather. And I've seen him lunching at Gatti's and that sort of thing, but I haven't the remotest idea what he does or where he lives. Some suburb, I think, but I'm hanged if I can remember which.
Not very helpful. Do, for goodness sake, pull yourself together and try to remember something a bit more definite about the fellow. I mean, it may mean $500,000 to you to know what time Grandpapa set off in the morning from Tootingbeck or Finchley or wherever it was. If it was a distant suburb, it would account for his arriving late at the club, which is rather in your favour, by the way.
I suppose it is. I do my best to remember, but I'm not sure that I ever knew.
It's dashed awkward. Maybe they know the blighter at Gatti's.
That's an idea. I've met him there several times. Tell you what, I'll go along there, make inquiries, and if they don't know him, I'll make a point of lunching there pretty regularly. He's almost bound to turn up again.
Splendid. Now, you do that. And meanwhile, do you mind if I have a look round the flat?
Rather not. Do you want me, or would you rather have Woodward? He really knows a lot more about things.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think I'll have Woodward.
My lord.
Don't mind me, Fentiman. I shall just be fussing about.
Well, carry on, by all means. I've got 1 or 2 drawers full of papers to go through. If I come across anything bearing on the Oliver bloke, I'll yell out.
Splendid. Oh, by the way, you have tried the telephone book, I suppose? I mean, gone through all the Olivers?
Well, no. I can't very well ring up perfect strangers, does it?
And sing him the Froth Blowers anthem. Oh, good grief, man. Anybody would think you were chasing a lost umbrella, not $500,000 of money. The man rang Woodward up, so he may very well be on the telephone himself. No, look, better let Bunter tackle the job when he gets back. He has an excellent manner on the line. People find it a positive pleasure to be troubled by him.
Righto.
That's better. Well, now, Woodward, could I see the General's bedroom?
Certainly, my lord. This way.
Oh, thank you. Ah, yes. Well, you've certainly kept it in apple pie order. Not much chance of finding any clues here, what? Oh, hello. Is that the General's walking stick?
Yes, my lord.
May I see it? Thank you. Ah, yes. Good. Look, I shall want Bunter to take a photograph of the handle presently, Woodward. Fingerprints, don't you know? Will you be careful to see that it's not touched by anybody else beforehand?
Certainly, my lord.
Now then, which were the shoes General Fentiman was wearing at the time of his death?
These, my lord.
Mm-hmm. Have they been cleaned since?
Not to say clean, my lord. I just wiped them over with a duster. They were not very dirty, and somehow I hadn't the heart. If you'll excuse me, my lord.
That is very fortunate, Woodward. Don't concern yourself. Yes. Yes, do you see here? A small fragment of carpet pile caught on this projecting brad. Gotcha. Now, hold this envelope open for me, would you? In you go, my beauty. There. Hello, and what's this? Aha, what is this? Woodward, could you wrap this shoe up in tissue paper? I want to take it away with me, if I may.
Very good, my lord.
Look, but before you do that, I should like to see all the clothes General Fentiman was wearing that day. Just the outer garments, you know. I mean, the hat, suit, overcoat, and so on.
In here, my lord. This is the general's suit, my lord.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the overcoat. The hat is in the hall.
Have these been brushed?
No, my lord. Only shaken out.
Uh-huh. Well, we might be able to get some sort of clue from the dust on the clothes, if any, to show us where the general might have spent the night. I mean, if, to take rather an unlikely example, we were to find a lot of sawdust, for instance, we might suppose that he'd been visiting a carpenter. Do you see the idea?
Yes, my lord.
Hello. Hello, you don't happen to remember this little tear on the trouser leg, do you? Might have caught on a nail.
I can't say I recollect it, my lord, but I might have overlooked it.
Yes, of course. Well, it's probably of no importance. You emptied the pockets, I suppose?
Yes, my lord.
Mm-hmm. Did you remove anything else from these clothes? Except what was in the pockets, I mean?
Oh, no, my lord.
How very odd. In fact, I'm not sure that isn't the oddest thing about this case.
Indeed, my lord. Might I ask why?
Well, I should have expected... Oh, hello, Fentiman.
What's odd, Wimsey?
Oh, just a little thing struck me, that's all. I expected to find something among these clothes which isn't there, that's all.
Impenetrable sleuth. What are you driving at?
Work it out for yourself, my dear Watson. You have all the data. And now, gentlemen, if you would be so kind, I would like to take your fingerprints. So that's it, Charles. The story so far, such as it is.
It's such as it is, Peter, yes.
Of course, I want you to do something for me.
Not really.
Yes, really, old Parker. Did you ever know me when I didn't? Strictly unofficially, mind you.
Well.
I want you to get one of the analyst Johnnies you have here at the yard to tell me what this is on the inside of the sole of the General's shoe. Look there on the edge, do you see?
Blood, perhaps?
Yeah, well, more likely paint, I fancy.
Yes. There's some sort of brown varnish. Might be of a floor or a piece of furniture. All right. I'll have that done for you. Anything else?
Yes. Yes, could you trace the telephone call the mysterious Mr. Oliver made that night? It was made about 9 o'clock, and the General's number is Mayfair, write it down, Mayfair 3925. I'd like to know where he put it through from, if you could manage that.
I'll have a go for you. Now, is there anything else?
No, that's a lot. I shall go now. I want to advertise in the Taximan's Courier, or whatever it is, for the drivers who ferried the General around London on his last 2 days.
What?
After he'd been to his sister's to see her before she died, he went to Dr. Penberthy's surgery in Harley Street because he wasn't feeling well. The strain and so forth.
Huh?
Well, presumably he went by taxi. Presumably he also left Penberthy's by taxi. And I would also like to know if he arrived at the Bellona Club in a cab on Armistice morning. Probably this Mr. Oliver had a car and ran the old boy up himself, but it's worth a try.
Yes, I suppose so.
And then, after dinner, I shall go to see George Fentiman, Robert's younger brother, you know. I told you what he said just before the General was found dead, didn't I?
What?
Well, that he swore he'd commit any damn crime to get hold of a decent income. George is a nervous, excitable fellow, you know, Charles. Badly gassed in the war and so on. Always saying things he don't mean. But he's an old friend, and... well, I think I'd like to have a talk with him.
Come in, Wimsey. Come in. Jolly good of you to brave the horrors of Finsbury Park. Everything's in a beastly muddle, as usual, I'm afraid, but when you're poor, you have to live like pigs. Sheila, Lord Peter Wimsey's here.
Hello.
You have met, haven't you?
Oh, rather.
Of course we have, George. How nice of you to come round, Lord Peter. Have you had dinner?
Yes, I have, thank you.
Oh, please sit down. How are you? Are you investigating anything at the moment?
I am, yes. Well, actually, it's about this funny business of the old General's will. Murbles suggested I should have a look into the question of the survivorship.
Do you know Mr. Murbles, then?
Yes, he's my solicitor, too.
And do you think you can get the problem settled?
Well, I hope so, very much, but it's a very fine-drawn business. May resolve itself into a matter of seconds. Oh, by the way, George, were you in the Bellona smoking room at all during the morning of Armistice Day?
So that's what you've come about. Why didn't you say so? No, I wasn't, and what's more, I don't know anything at all about it. And why that infuriating old hag of a Dormer woman couldn't make a decent, sensible will while she was about it, I don't know. Fancy making the whole thing dependent on whether the old boy was alive or not at the moment she pegged out, so that the Dorland girl gets nearly everything. She hasn't an atom of claim on it.
Miss Dorland was Lady Dormer's companion for several years, George.
Companion? She just lived in the house and painted all day.
Well, what's the harm in her painting?
Well, why couldn't she be a proper companion?
Look, what kind of woman is Anne Dorland?
One of these modern Chelsea women, ugly as sin and hard as nails. Can't even paint well. Just ugly, skinny prostitutes with green bodies and no clothes on. I suppose she thinks that if she can't be a success as a woman, she'll be a half-baked intellectual. No wonder a man can't get a decent job these days with these hard-mouthed, cigarette-smoking females all over the place, pretending they're geniuses and businesswomen and all the rest of it.
Oh, come, George. Miss Dorland isn't doing anybody out of a job.
No, and she's not doing us out of our inheritance either, I suppose.
No,
she's only going to walk off with $500,000, while Robert and I are left with a rotten 7,000 apiece.
Oh, don't grumble, George. It would be uncommonly handy at the moment for Dougal McStuart.
Who's Dougal McStuart? One of our old Scottish families by the name. Do you know, I fancy that I've heard of him. Look, isn't he an obliging, helpful kind of chap with a wealthy friend in the city?
Frightfully obliging. He simply forces his acquaintance on one...
Shut up, Sheila. Lord Peter doesn't want to know all the sordid details of our private affairs.
Knowing Dougal, I dare say I could give a guess at him, though. Some time ago you had a kind offer of assistance from our friend McStuart. You accepted to the mild tune of... what was it?
500.
500. Which turned out to be $350 in cash, and the rest represented by a little honorarium to his friend in the city, who advanced the money in so trustful a manner without security. When was that?
3 years ago, when I started that tea shop in Kensington.
Ah, yes. And when you couldn't quite manage that 60% per month, or whatever it was, owing to trade depression, the friend in the city was obliging enough to add the interest to the principal at great inconvenience to himself and so forth. The McStuart way is familiar to me. What's the total now, George, just out of curiosity?
1,500 by the 30th, if you must know.
By the 30th? Well, you're perfectly all right about that, surely. Whichever way the thing goes. I mean, if General Fentiman died before his sister, you get 7,000. And if he died after her, you're certain of the 2,000 from his will, so why worry?
Why? Because until you've discovered which of them died first, neither of the wills can be executed, and I can't touch anything.
Oh, I know. But all you've got to do is to go to Murbles and get him to advance you the money on your expectations. You can't get away with less than 2,000, whatever happens, so he'll be perfectly ready to do it.
Well, suppose the thing goes to court and we get let in for thousands of pounds of fees and things.
Oh, I don't think that'll happen. If we can't get to the bottom of the survivorship question, I should think you and Robert and Miss Dornan would be far better advised to come to a settlement out of court. Which will probably be the fairest way in any case. Why don't you?
Why? Because the Dorland female wants her pound of flesh, that's why.
You mean she won't compromise?
Well, that's what Pritchard, her solicitor, says, yes.
Now, that is most interesting.
Mr. Pritchard will see you now, Lord Peter.
Ah, thanks awfully. Morning, Mr. Pritchard. Excuse my calling on you like this. More regular to do it through Murbles, I suppose. Nice old boy, Murbles, ain't he? But I always believe in going to the Fountain's Head, if possible. Saves time, don't you know?
Of course, Lord Peter. And how might I have the pleasure of serving your lordship?
Well, it's about this Fentiman business, survivorship and all that. Oh, I say, do you know, I nearly said survival. Yeah, appropriate, what? Yes, you might call the old general survival, eh? However, I take it Murbles told you I was looking into the matter, trying to check up on the timetable and all that.
He informed me, yes.
Well, it's a bit of a problem, do you see? Do you mind if I smoke? Thank you. Will you have one yourself?
I'm obliged to you. I never smoke in business hours.
Ah, very proper. Much more impressive. Puts the wind up the clients, what? Well, now, I just thought I'd let you know that it's likely to be a close-ish thing. You're very difficult to tell to a minute or so, don't you know? May turn out one way, may turn out completely baffling and all that. You get me?
Indeed.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And what precisely have you come to suggest?
Well, what I mean to say is, wouldn't it be rather a good thing if the parties could be got to come to terms? Give and take, you see? I mean, split the doings and share the proceeds. After all, $500,000's a goodish bit of money. Quite enough for 3 people to live on in a quiet way, don't you think? And it would save such an awful lot of trouble and, well, lawyers' fees and things.
Ah, I may say that I have been expecting this. And you'll permit me to remark, Lord Peter, that in view of the fact that you've been employed by the other party in this case, your proposal has a highly suggestive appearance. You'll excuse me perhaps if I warn you further that your whole course of conduct in this matter seems to me open to a very undesirable construction.
Then you will perhaps permit me, Mr. Pritchard, to inform you that I am not employed by anybody. I have been requested by Mr. Murbles to ascertain the facts. They are rather difficult to ascertain, but I have learnt one very important thing from you today. And I am obliged to you for your assistance. Good morning. Employed, indeed. Undesirable construction. I'll construct him. Ah, hello, Woodward. Major Fentiman in?
Yes, my lord.
That you, Wimsey? Come along in. Well, any progress, old egg?
Yeah, possibly a little. I just came round to ask if you could let me have a specimen of old Fentiman's fist.
Certainly. Pick what you like. There are a few papers here. Well, not much, but then he never was a ready writer. And when he did write, he usually did it at the club. There are a few interesting notes of his early campaigns here, but they're rather antiques.
Well, I'd rather have something more recent, if you have it.
Oh. Well, there's a bundle of cancelled cheques here, if that'd do.
Ah, that would do particularly well. I want something with figures in it, if possible. Yeah, many thanks. I'll take these, if I may.
How on earth is his handwriting going to tell you when he pegged out?
Ah, now, that is my secret, dash it all. Oh, by the way, have you been down to Gatti's?
Yes. They seem to know Oliver fairly well by sight, but that's all. He hasn't been in since the 11th. Perhaps he's keeping under cover. However, I'll haunt the place a bit and see if he turns up.
Well, I wish you would. Bunter didn't have any luck with those telephone calls, I'm afraid.
By the way, have you seen George lately?
Last night, why?
I ran into him this morning. He seemed to me to be in rather a queer state. Complained of being spied on or something.
Spied on?
Followed about, you know, watched. Like the blighter in the text stories. I'm afraid all this business is getting on his nerves. I hope he doesn't go off his rocker or anything. It's bad enough for Sheila as it is. She's a decent little woman.
Thoroughly decent. And very fond of him.
Yes. Works like Bellio to keep the home together and all that. Tell you the truth, I don't know how she puts up with George. Of course, married couples are always sparring and so on, but he ought to behave before other people. It's dash bad form being rude to your wife in public.
He's in a beastly galling position, you know. She's his wife, and she's got to keep him, and, well, I know he feels it very much.
Well, I think he's behaving like a sweep. Oh, well, perhaps I'm hard on him. We never did get on very well. Still, this persecution mania, or whatever it is another thing. He ought to see a doctor.
Yes, he certainly ought. We must keep an eye on him.
I think he's out hunting for jobs just now. He said something about one of those motor people in Great Portland Street wanting a salesman. He can handle a car pretty well, you know.
Well, I hope he gets it. Even if it doesn't pay very well, it would do him the world of good to have something to do with himself. Well, I'd better be ambling off. Many thanks, Fentiman, and let me know if you get hold of Oliver.
Well, of course, rather.
So what, Wimsey?
Could you get one of your handwriting experts to tell me if these two fists are the same, Charles? These are some of the old boy's checks, and this is something that I found underneath a blotter on one of the writing desks in the club library.
I suppose so. Collins, Parker here. Could you come along to my office for a moment? Yes, thanks. Oh, incidentally, that was just varnish on that shoe.
Ah.
Not a floor varnish, though. Probably came off a door or a partition or something of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that phone call from Mr. Oliver was put through at 9:13, write it down, from a public call box at Charing Cross Underground Station.
I see, that's interesting. Thank you.
Come in. Collins, come in. This is Lord Peter Wimsey.
Good afternoon, my lord.
He'd like to know whether these two handwritings are the same.
Yes, let's see, yes. Not a doubt about it, I should say, unless the forgery has been astonishingly well done.
No. There's not the slightest question of forgery or anything. I just wanted to know whether the person who wrote these checks also jotted down these notes.
I should say certainly. Some of the figures, the 5s, for instance, and the 3s are highly characteristic.
Oh, well, that's fine. Thank you so much.
All right, Collins.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, now, that really is fine.
Good.
That checks up the results of the fingerprint test, too.
Fingerprint test.
I got Bunter to photograph prints from the old boy's walking stick and from this piece of paper. So now we know he definitely wrote this.
But what does it mean? 150,000 of R, 300,000 of G? Are these the grandsons?
Very likely, old Parker Bird. R for Robert, G for George. Now, what happened, I think, was this. On the afternoon of the 10th, the General went to see his sister who was dying. I think she told him that she was leaving him the bulk of her estate.
Yeah.
Now, he was accustomed to do any writing or business at the Bellona Club, so I fancy that he went back there and made these notes as to what he meant to do with the money.
Yeah.
Now, well, I can check that, incidentally, because one of those taxi drivers I advertised for has got in touch with Merville's, and I'm going round to see him at 6 o'clock.
Seems reasonable. Writing on this is very weak and straggly.
Yes, it quite tails off, doesn't it? As though the old boy had come over faint and couldn't go on. Or perhaps he was only tired. Well, I shall have to ask at the club if anybody saw him in there that evening. But Oliver, curse him, is the man who knows. Oh, if only we could get hold of Oliver!
Well, you could make inquiries at the club and see if the General and this Oliver were observed leaving together.
Yes. Or I wonder if Pritchard, Miss Dorland's solicitor, I wonder if he knows him. Do you know, I wouldn't be surprised. That old brute knows something, Charles. And if he knows something, that shows there is something to be known. And then, of course, there's George.
George?
Well, it's probably not relevant. I don't see how it can be, in fact. But George Fentiman needed, and indeed still needs, £1,500 by the end of the month. Yeah. And he knew that he was due to get £2,000 in his grandfather's will. Afternoon, Mervils.
Ah, Lord Peter. Mr. Hinkins, this is the gentleman who's interested in the inquiry we're making. Perhaps you would have the goodness to repeat to him what you've already told me. I've ascertained enough, Lord Peter, to feel sure that this is the right driver, but I should like you to put any questions you wish yourself. Now, Mr. Hinkins.
Yes, sir. Well, as I told Mr. Merbles here, a very old gentleman, an old military gent, I wouldn't be surprised, took my taxi in Harley Street at 5:30 on November the 10th. I remember the day very well because after I'd done taking him where I'm telling you, my magneto started to give trouble and I didn't have the use of the bus on Armistice Day, which was a great loss to me because that's a good day as a rule. Well, the old gent gets in anyway and he says, take me to Dover Street, he says. But if you was to ask me the numbers, I'm afraid I don't remember because, you see, we never went there after all.
As I suspected. You went to the Bellona Club instead, didn't you?
Well, yes, sir, but not right away, like. We didn't get there till, near 7 o'clock.
What? And you picked him up at 5:30?
Yes, sir. You see, sir, just as we was coming out into Cavendish Square, the old gentleman puts his head out and says, stop. So I stops, and I see him waving his hand to a gentleman on the pavement. So this other one comes up, and there's a few words together, and then the old gentleman says, cabman, he says, just like that. Cabman, go back up to Regent's Park and drive round till I tell you to stop. So the other gentleman gets in with him and I goes back and drives round the park quiet-like, because I guess they wanted to have a bit of a talk. Well, I goes round several times, and then about the fourth or fifth time round, the younger gentleman sticks his head out and says, put me down at Gloucester Gate. So I puts him down, and off he goes across the road like as if he might be going up Park Street. And I takes the old gentleman to the club in Piccadilly, like I said.
This could be our mysterious Mr. Oliver, Mervils.
Yes, it's more than possible, Lord Peter. Mr. Hinkins, did you by any chance catch the younger gentleman's name?
Why, yes, sir. When I puts him down like, the old gentleman says, goodbye, George. Bear in mind what I've said.
George?
Yes, sir. George.
In that episode of The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club, the parts were played as follows. Lord Peter Wimsey, Ian Carmichael. Major Robert Fentiman, Alan Cuthbertson. George Fentiman, Martin Jarvis. Inspector Parker, Gabriel Wolfe. Mr. Merbles, John Gabriel. Sheila Fentiman, Francis Jeter. Woodward and Collins, James Thomason. Pritchard and Hinkins, Anthony Higginson. The General's Last Evening was adapted by Chris Miller from the book The Unpleasantness of the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers. The programme produced by Simon Brett. Lord Peter Wimsey. Starring Ian Carmichael as Lord Peter, with Alan Cuthbertson as Robert Fentiman, Martin Jarvis as George Fentiman, and Gabriel Wolfe as Inspector Parker. The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers, adapted in 6 episodes by Chris Miller. Episode 3, Mr. Oliver. Endeavouring to trace General Fentiman's movements in the last hours of his life, Lord Peter Wimsey has discovered that the old man spent the night of November the 10th at the home of a Mr. Oliver. When he learns that the General also saw his impecunious grandson, George, that evening, Wimsey hurries down to the Bellona Club to investigate.
Hello, Collier! Collier, I say!
Me?
Collier, look, have you seen George Fentiman around?
Wimsey. No, I haven't. No, I think he's been avoiding us since his grandfather died. Come into my office a moment, will you?
Yeah, right here. What's up, Alvin?
Now, look here, Wimsey. Aren't you ever going to get finished with this investigation or whatever it is? The members are complaining, really they are, and I can't blame them. They find your everlasting questions an intolerable nuisance, old boy. And no sooner do you stop it than the other fella begins.
What other fella?
That nasty little skulking bloke who's always turning up at the service door and questioning the staff.
I don't know anything about him. I never heard of him. Look, I'm sorry if I'm being a bore and all that, though I swear I couldn't be worse than some of your other choice specimens in that line, but I've hit a snag. Now, that fellow Oliver, whom I mentioned to you...
He's not known here, Wimsey.
No, but he may have been here. Came to pick the General up, perhaps.
If nobody saw him, he can't have been here.
Well, then where did General Fentiman go to when he left that evening? And when did he leave? Look, dash it, Collier, the old boy's a landmark here. He couldn't just disappear. I know that he went to see Lady Dormer, his sister, that afternoon, and I'm pretty sure that, dying as she was, she managed to tell him she was leaving him nearly all her money. I know, too, that he then went to see Dr. Pemberthy in Harley Street, probably to get something for his overexcited heart. I also know that he left Pemberthy's by taxi and was on his way home to Dover Street when he spotted George Fentiman. Now, George got into the taxi and they talked, though what about I do not know, yet. When George had been dropped, the old man asked to be driven here. Now, I know he arrived because the commissionaire saw him come in. I know he went into the library to make some notes about how he was going to dispose of his sister's money, because I found the notes under the blotting pad on a writing desk. And that, dash it all, is all that I do know, because at that point the trail goes stone cold. Now, somebody must have seen him leave the building, Collier. I mean, the servants aren't all blind. I don't like to say it, but I can't help thinking that somebody has been bribed to hold his tongue.
My dear Wimsey!
Yes, I knew that would annoy you, but how else do you account for it? Incidentally, who is this fellow you say has been hanging around the kitchen?
I came across him yesterday morning when I went down to see about some wine. Babcock, the wine steward, told me he'd been working the pump handle about old Fentiman, and I gathered he'd been pretty liberal with his cash. I thought you were up to your tricks again.
Is the fellow a sahib?
Good God, no. Looks like an attorney's clerk or something. Nasty little tout.
Well, I'm glad you told me. I shouldn't wonder if he's the snag I'm up against. Probably Oliver covering his tracks.
Do you suspect this Oliver of something wrong?
Well, I rather think so, though I'm damned if I know quite what. But he knows how and where old Fentiman spent the night, and that is what I am after.
What the devil does it matter how he spent the night? He can't have been very riotous at his age.
Well, it might throw some light on the time he arrived here in the morning, mightn't it? And that, in turn, might tell us whether he died before or after his sister. And that will tell us who succeeds to $500,000. Anne Dorland or Robert Fentiman. I must find this Oliver fellow, Collier, even if I have to advertise.
Advertise?
Well, I don't think we'll rope in the BBC. Well, not yet, that is. It's so confoundedly public.
No. That'd be most undesirable. But really, Wimsey, now, please.
Look, I know you'd like me to clear out. All right, I go. My tail well tucked down between my legs and a flea in my ear. Anyway, do you know where I can find George Fentiman?
His brother, Major Fentiman, said he's getting a job as a motor salesman or some such thing in Great Portland Street.
Ah.
The Wamsley Hubbard outfit, I think he said.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'll pop in there tomorrow then.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset his wife any more than I need. Well, thank you so much. Yes, I really will go now, Collier. Really. In fact, I've practically gone.
George, I say hello.
What? Wimsey! What are you doing here?
I just toddled along for a chat, don't you know? Been trying this bus out?
Yes, I think I've got the hang of her all right. They've taken me on for a few weeks to see what I can do.
Ah, capital. How about lunch? Come along with me if you've nothing better to do.
Oh, righto. Where?
Well, I've got a fancy to go to Gatty's today. A certain Mr. Oliver lunches there regularly, your brother tells me.
Whatever you say, Wimsey.
Ah, splendid. By the way, you never told me that you'd seen your grandfather the afternoon before he died.
How on earth? Confound it all, Wimsey. Are you behind this infernal watch that's being kept on me?
Watch? Well, who's keeping a watch on you?
There's a fellow following me about. Spy. I'm always seeing him. He came down in the bus with me from Finsbury Park this morning. He was after me all day yesterday, probably about now. I won't have it. If I catch sight of him again, I shall knock his dirty little head off. Why should I be followed and spied on? I haven't done anything. And now you begin.
Well, I swear I've nothing to do with anybody following you about. Honestly, I haven't. Anyway, I wouldn't employ a man who'd let a bloke see when he was being followed. No, when I start hunting you, I shall be as silent and stealthy as a gas leak. What's this incompetent bloodhound like to look at?
Small, thin, with his hat pulled down over his eyes, and an old raincoat with a collar turned up, and a very blue chin.
Gracious me, sounds like a stage detective.
More like a tout.
Tout? Oh, good Lord. Do you know, I bet it's the same man who's been haunting the Bellona and asking questions. And I'd put him down in my mind as Oliver's minion. Well, if you see him, George, give a yell. I want to talk to him.
All righto, but I wish he'd stop persecuting me.
Well, we'll settle his hash if we catch him. Now, look here, forget him for a bit. Tell me about the old general. How did he seem the last time you saw him?
Oh, he seemed fit enough. Crusty, as usual.
Crusty, was he? What about?
Private matters.
You know, I'm not at all sure that relations shouldn't all be painlessly put away after 70 years and 10. Or at any rate segregated, or have their tongues sterilized so they can't be poisonously interfered.
Oh, I wish they were. Damn it all, I know the old man was in the Crimea, but he's no idea what a real war's like. He never had his inside gassed out, so they had to go to his wife for pocket money. And, do you know, the old devil actually threatened to cut me out of the 2,000 he had to leave me if I didn't reform my domestic behaviour. Well, that's the way he talked. Just as if I was carrying on with another woman or something.
Look, hold a moment. Did he say all this to you in the taxi that day?
Huh? Yes, he did. I had to promise to turn over a new leaf and all that, like being back at one's prep school.
But didn't he mention anything about the money Lady Dormer was leaving him?
Not a word. I don't suppose he knew about it.
Oh, I think he did. He'd just come from seeing her, you know.
Yes. Well, that would rather explain it, then. If he knew he was in the running for $500,000. By Jove, yes. I expect he would feel a bit anxious at the idea of leaving it all to a fellow he looked on as a waster. I bet the old boy was sounding me to see what sort of disposition I got. The old fox. I say that's a thought. Perhaps it's just as well he popped off when he did. He might have cut me off with a shilling, eh? I say yes. Perhaps his death wasn't so unlucky after all.
Well, your brother would have seen you through in any case, surely.
I suppose he would. Robert's quite a decent sort, really, though he does get on one's nerves, so...
Does he?
Oh, he's so thick-skinned. The regular, unimaginative Briton. I believe Robert would cheerfully go through another 5 years of war and think it all a very good rag. He was proverbial, you know, for never turning a hair. Oh, yes. Robert was thought a damn good soldier, Wimsey. Plenty of nerve, you see. Plenty of nerve.
Hello?
Is that you, Wimsey? It's me, Major Fentiman. Look, I say, is that Wimsey?
Yes, Wimsey speaking. What's up?
I've seen Oliver.
Have you, Bejove? Where?
getting into a train at Charing Cross.
Did you speak to him?
No, it's maddening. I was just getting my ticket when I saw him passing the barrier, tore after him, and there was a circle train standing at the platform. He bolted in and they clanged the doors. I rushed on, waving and shouting, but the train went out. I cursed like anything.
Yeah, I bet you did. Oh, how very sickening. Well, it can't be helped, that's all. He'll probably turn up again. Charing Cross seems to be a haunt of his. He phoned from there on the evening of the 10th, you know.
Yes, so he did.
Look, I'll tell you what we better do, Fentiman. The thing's getting rather serious. I propose that you should go and keep an eye on Charing Cross Station, and I'll get hold of a private detective from Sleuths Incorporated, and you can describe Oliver to him, and then watch turn and turn about, what?
Hang it all, Wimsey. That'll take a lot of time. I've gone back to my rooms at Richmond now. And besides, I've got my own duties to do.
It's $500,000 of money, Fentiman. Of course, if you're not keen...
Well, yes, I am keen. I don't believe anything will come of it.
Probably not, but it's worth trying. And in the meantime, I'll have another watch kept at Gatty's. Oh, by the way, which waiter is it who knows him? I had a talk with the head man today, and he didn't know anything about him.
No, it wasn't the head waiter. The plump, dark one.
Yeah, all right, well, I'll find him, and you'll see to the Charing Cross end, what?
I suppose so.
Good. Well, I'll get hold of a tech and send him along to you. Cheerio, then.
Cheerio, Wimsey.
What, Herr Myrbles?
Ah, good afternoon, Lord Peter.
Now, what is it? Bunter said you wanted to see me urgently. What's up?
Lord Peter, the person from Sleuths Incorporated has reported at last.
Now, I knew something would happen before the week was out. Well, go on, Myrbles. What did he say?
Well, it seems, Lord Peter, that at 6 o'clock yesterday evening, the particular sleuth in charge of the case was relieved by Major Fentiman so that he could go and have dinner. On returning to his post an hour later, he was presented with a note by a ticket collector which ran, "Just seen Oliver getting into taxi, am following. Will communicate to refreshment room, Fentiman."
So he waited there at Charing Cross?
Precisely. However, the second man whom you had instructed to put on the case, Lord Peter, was all the while following the Major unbeknownst. Presently a call came through from Waterloo. "Oliver on Southampton train, I am following." The sleuth hurried down to Waterloo, found the train had departed, and followed on by the next. At Southampton, he made inquiries and learned that a person answering to Major Fentiman's description had attacked an elderly gentleman and accused him of being Mr. Oliver. The gentleman had immediately produced his passport, which showed him to be a retired manufacturer of the name of Postlethwaite living at Kew, and had subsequently been allowed to proceed on his way. Major Fentiman, contrariwise, had been detained by the police.
Great Scott! So what did my sleuth do?
He at once repaired to the police station, where he managed to secure the Major's release on bearing witness to his identity and good faith. It was his opinion, Lord Peter, in view of the frank behaviour of Mr. Postlethwaite, that a genuine mistake had been made as to identity. But Major Fentiman insisted that he was not mistaken.
And where are they now?
The second sleuth is still in Southampton in case you should have need of his services there. The other, and Major Fentiman, returned to town late last night. I've asked the Major to call on me as soon as possible. I wish to remind him that private persons are not entitled to assault peaceable people against whom no charge can be made.
Is Mr. Marbles in?
Yes, sir.
Bless my soul, that sounds like him now. Ah, Major.
Afternoon, Myrbles. Wimsey.
Now,
Hello.
Don't worry, Fentiman. We've heard the full story. Now, just sit down and cool off.
I'm sorry, old man. It was damn stupid of me, but I lost my temper. To hear that fellow calmly denying that he'd ever seen me or poor old grandfather and coming out with his bits of evidence so pat put my bristles up. Of course, I see now that I made a mistake. I quite realize that I ought to have followed him up quietly. But how was I to know that he wouldn't answer to his name?
But you ought to have guessed when he didn't that either you had made a mistake or that he had some very good motive for trying to get away.
Well, what do you mean?
I mean that if he really is Oliver and has gone off in that elaborate manner with a false passport and everything, he must have something important to conceal.
Well, you don't mean there's something funny about grandfather's death? I mean, surely not.
Well, there must be something funny about Oliver anyway, mustn't there? On your own shade?
Oh, but hang it all. What could he have to do with the old man's death?
I don't know, but I think it's time that we tried to find out.
How?
Well, we we might apply for an exhumation order.
Dig him up?
But, Lord Peter...
Well, why not, Murbles? There was no post-mortem, you know.
Well, no, but Dr. Penberthy knew all about it and gave the certificate.
True, but at that time there was no reason to suppose that anything was wrong.
There is now.
Well, there's Oliver mysteriously running off.
But Wimsey, I mean, think what a scandal it'd make.
Well, why should it? You're the executor. You can have the whole thing done quite privately.
Well, yes, but surely the Home Office would never consent on such flimsy grounds.
But I will see that they do. They'll know I wouldn't be keen on anything flimsy. Little bits of fluff were never in my line. Besides, we can say we want to examine the contents of the viscera to see how soon the General died after taking his last meal. That might be of great assistance in solving the question of the survivorship, eh, Murbles? You might suggest such a thing to Pritchard, anyway.
Who's Pritchard?
And Orland's solicitor.
That is a very good idea, Lord Peter.
And if he's an honest man and his client's an honest woman, they'll support the application. And if they don't, then we'll know that they have something to conceal.
But I say, Wimsey, isn't there some other way of doing this? It's deuced unpleasant. I wish to goodness we could compromise on it.
But the lady in the case won't compromise. Now, you know that, Fentiman. And we have got to get at the facts somehow.
Oh, damn it all. I suppose it'll have to be done then.
Splendid. I'll ring Penberthy and tell him he'd better be present, I fancy. And now I will be leaving you. Fentiman, Murbles will apply to the Home Office on your behalf. Cheer, frightfully ho. Yeah, Murbles, come to dinner this evening. Inspector Parker's coming along.
Why, thank you, Lord Peter. I would be delighted.
All right. 8 o'clock then, sharp. Goodbye.
And then, Lord Peter, at about 5 o'clock, when I was halfway through writing to Mr. Pritchard about the exhumation, a note arrived from the gentleman informing me that Miss Doran was now willing to compromise on a division of the money.
Really? Now, I wonder why. Well, she must have lost patience. Well, it's too late for compromise now, Murbles, unless you're willing to be party to a fraud.
Lord Peter, I don't understand you.
I think Charles does, don't you, Charles? I've been bringing Mr. Parker up to date, Murbles, telling him that when I asked a few discreet questions at Gatty's the other day, not only had nobody there the slightest recollection of Mr. Oliver, no inquiries about him had ever been made by Major Fentiman either.
Oh, dear me.
What you're saying, in fact, Peter, is that this Oliver has no real existence.
Correct. Oliver was the carrot on the donkey's nose, my noble self being cast for the part of the donkey. Not caring for the role, I concocted a carrot of my own in the person of Sleuths Incorporated. And Robert Fentiman, not knowing there was a second sleuth on his tail, rose to the bait.
But why assault a perfect stranger and accuse him of being Oliver? That seems to me to be taking a passion for thoroughness a bit far.
I agree.
But, Lord Peter, please explain. What exactly has Major Fentiman been doing? Did you suspect him of...
Well, I knew something odd had happened, you know, as soon as I saw the General's body.
Yeah?
His left knee joint was loose, while the rest of him was still stiff with rigor mortis.
Well, somebody'd forced the joint after rigor had set in, you mean?
That was my conclusion. Penberthy's too, incidentally. Only, of course, being a doctor, he wasn't going to make any indiscreet uproar if he could avoid it. It don't pay, you know.
I know, yes.
Anyway, the next step was to try to find out what had actually happened to the General on the night of the 10th and the morning of the 11th. And the moment I got round to his flat, I was faced with two entirely contradictory pieces of evidence. First, there was the story about Oliver, which appeared more or less reasonable upon the face of it. Yeah. And secondly, there was Woodward's evidence about the clothes.
Well, you mean the slight tear on the trousers and the varnish and the bit of carpet you found on the shoe?
No. No, not something that was there. Something that wasn't there.
What?
Woodward said that he'd removed nothing from the clothes except the contents of the pocket. You remember?
No, I don't quite follow, Peter. What did you expect to find?
My dear Charles, consider what day it was.
Day?
November the 11th. Armistice Day.
A poppy!
Precisely. The General was not wearing a poppy. Now, is it conceivable that if he had walked to the club that morning, he would have done so without wearing his Flanders poppy? A patriotic, military old bird like that? Well, my dear, I mean, it's unthinkable.
But then how did he get to the club, Peter? He was there, you know.
Ah, true, but the odd thing is that nobody saw him arrive. And what is more, nobody saw him leave the previous evening. General Fentiman, one of the best-known figures in the club. And he seems to have become suddenly invisible. Now, that won't do, you know.
What's your idea, then? Did he slip the night at the club?
I think he slept a very peaceful and untroubled sleep that night. In the club.
Lord Peter, you shock me inexpressibly. Are you suggesting that he died
sometime the previous evening? Yes.
But he couldn't have sat there all night in the smoking room, Peter. The servants would have been bound to notice
Well,
him.
of course. But it was to somebody's interest to see that they didn't notice. Somebody who wanted it thought that the old boy didn't die till the following day, after the death of Lady Dormer.
Robert Fentiman.
Exactly.
Major Fentiman?
Yes, Murbles. Major Fentiman, who, as residuary legatee, succeeded to all moneys not specifically devised elsewhere. In particular, Lady Dormer's $500,000.
But did Robert know that Lady Dormer was leaving the bulk of her fortune to General Fentiman?
Well, that is a point that I'm not altogether happy about, Charles, but I think he must have done.
Huh. Oh, all the same, Peter, if the General did die, as you say, on the evening of the 10th, where was the body? You must admit, it would have been a trifle noticeable if left about.
No.
What?
No. Repellent as the whole notion is to me, I see no difficulty about that, Mr. Parker. Major Fentiman was at that time living in the club. No doubt the General died in his bedroom and was concealed there till the next morning.
No, that won't work, Murbles. I think the General's hat and coat and things were in Robert's bedroom, but the corpse couldn't have been. Now think. Look, here is a photograph of the entrance hall, with the big staircase running up in full view of the front door and the desk and the bar entrance, you see? Now, would you risk carrying a corpse downstairs in the middle of the morning with servants and members passing in and out continually? No, well, of course you wouldn't. So the body was not in Robert's bedroom.
Oh. But where, then?
Yes, where? I mean, after all, Peter, we've got to make this story hold water.
No, for yourself. Now, here is a photograph of the end bay of the library, where the General was sitting making notes about the money that he was to inherit.
Yeah.
Now, it's a very nice retired spot, you notice. Invisible from the doorway. Now, I think that is where the General died. Oh. Now, here is a shot of the library taken from the smoking room. Observe, in the anteroom between them, the telephone cabinet.
Yes.
Telephone cabinet.
Which you will remember had a label on it saying out of order on the morning of Armistice Day. Old Weatheridge has been moaning about it ever since, but I can't find anybody who remembers putting up that notice.
But, Lord Peter, this is impossible, surely. Think of the risk.
Well, what risk?
Well,
No, I agree with Peter. There wouldn't have been a great deal of risk. If anybody had opened the door, they'd simply have come across the old man sitting there dead. No doubt the tragedy would have been put down to his not seeing the notice and then dying of fury at not being able to get his call.
Quite right, Charles. Agitation acted on a weak heart and all that. Not very risky at all, really, Murbles. And what's more, I've proved that he was there.
What?
I went down to the Bellona Club earlier this evening, and do you know what I found inside that telephone cabinet?
Fingerprints?
No. That was too much to hope for after all this time. Look, what do you say, Charles?
I think you found a long scratch on the paint where the foot of the corpse rested and stiffened in that position.
Hole in one, yes. And that, of course, was why the leg had to be bent with violence, in order to drag the corpse out.
Was there anything else? Did the carpet match?
It did, yes. And there was a projecting nail on the seat, which must have been responsible for the slight tear in the trouser leg.
Lord Peter, tell me one thing. There were a great number of people in the smoking room all that morning. If it were as you suggest, how could Fentiman have brought the body in without being observed?
Were there people there all morning, Murbles? Are you sure? Wasn't there just one period when one could be certain that everybody would be either out in the street or upstairs on the big balcony that runs along in front of the first floor windows, looking out and listening? It was Armistice Day. Remember?
The 2-minute silence. God bless my soul, how abominable! At the moment when all our thoughts should be concentrated on the brave fellows who lay down their lives for us, to be engaged in perpetrating a fraud and an irreverent crime.
$500,000 is a good bit of money.
Horrible.
Horrible indeed, Murbles. Meanwhile, what do you propose to do about it?
Do. Robert Fentiman will have to confess to this disgraceful plot immediately. Then we shall have to explain matters to Mr. Pritchard and apologize. I really hardly know how to tell him such a thing.
Well, I rather think he suspects a good deal of it already. I didn't tell you, but that fellow who was spying on George turned out to be Pritchard's clerk. I caught him following me this afternoon, and he came clean when I shook him reasonably hard by the collar. And, of course, Pritchard treated me like a conspirator when I called on him.
Bless my soul, to think that I should be mixed up in a thing like this. Major Fentiman will have to find another man of business in future. And, of course, this exhumation will have to be stopped at once.
Ah, yes, Purple.
I shall attend in person at Robert Fentiman's rooms in Richmond tomorrow morning, and I can only hope, Lord Peter, that I will be able to bring him to a sense of his situation.
Hello?
Lord Peter.
Nobles! My dear fellow, what is up? I thought you hated the telephone.
Lord Peter, we have been outwitted. We have been forestalled.
My dear Nobles, your method of recalling one to the dull business of the day is as delightful as it is unexpected. Anything better calculated to dispel that sluggish feeling I can scarcely imagine.
Lord Peter, Robert Fentiman has disappeared.
Good God.
In that episode of The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club, the parts were played as follows. Lord Peter Wimsey, Ian Carmichael. Robert Fentiman, Alan Cuthbertson. George Fentiman, Martin Jarvis. Inspector Parker, Gabriel Wolfe. Mr. Merbles, John Gabriel. Collier, Blaine Fairman. Mr. Oliver was adapted by Chris Miller from the book The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers. The programme was produced by Simon Brett. Lord Peter Wimsey. Starring Ian Carmichael as Lord Peter, with Alan Cuthbertson as Robert Fentiman, and Gabriel Wolfe as Inspector Parker. The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers, adapted in 6 episodes by Chris Miller. Episode 4, Exhumation. Lord Peter Wimsey has discovered that after General Fentiman died on November the 10th, his body was concealed in the Bellona Club until the following day. He's thus effectively disproved the existence of the Mr. Oliver, who Robert Fentiman claimed was with his grandfather that night. The morning after making this discovery, however, Wimsey learns that Robert Fentiman has disappeared.
Now, Merbles, take a seat and calm down.
Oh, thank you, Lord Peter, thank you.
Major Fentiman is possibly not fleeing from justice after all.
Indeed?
No. Since you telephoned me from Richmond earlier, I believe I've discovered where he's gone. And I think it will probably surprise you as much as it surprised me. Now, just listen to this. It's a letter from my sleuth, from Sleuths Incorporated, the bloke who followed Fentiman to Southampton. And he writes from Paris as follows. My lord, while making a few inquiries at Southampton, pursuant to the investigation with which your lordship entrusted me, what marvellous English these fellows write, don't they? I came almost accidentally, almost, I think that's very good, upon a trifling clue which led me to suppose that the party whom I was instructed by your lordship to keep under observation, he means Fentiman, had been less in error than we thought. In short, thank God for that, eh? I believe that I have myself come upon the track of O. You know, these fellows are amazingly cautious, what? I mean, you might just as well write Oliver and have done with it.
Oliver?
Yes, but now, just let me finish, Merbles, let me finish. And have followed the individual in question to this place. Now, I have telegraphed to the gentleman, your friend, that's Fentiman again, to join me immediately with a view to identifying the party. And I will, of course, duly acquaint your lordship with any further developments in the case. Yours, etc., Jas Tomlinson.
But, Lord Peter, surely the man must be mistaken.
Well, I jolly well hope so, yes. It'll be a bit galling to have Oliver turn up just when we've proved so conclusively that he don't exist. Meanwhile, Fentiman's clearly popped over to France. Probably took the 10:30 boat from Folkestone. I don't know how we're going to get hold of him now.
Lord Peter, we must send someone to Paris immediately in search of them.
Why?
To fetch Major Fentiman back, of course.
But look here, Burbles, if there really is an Oliver after all, it rather upsets our calculations, don't it?
Yes, it does. But even if this latest development should eventually exonerate Robert Fentiman in the matter of the attempted fraud, I cannot see that it will affect our conclusions as to the hour of the general's death. There's therefore no need for his body to be exhumed, far less for all the unpleasantness such a business may give rise to. We must accordingly stop the exhumation at once, and Major Fentiman's signature is required to do so.
Oh, Lord, yes. I say that's a bit awkward.
Well, if I could stop it myself, I would, but I hardly think I can. Major Fentiman is his grandfather's executor and personally made the application to the Home Office.
We'll have to hope the sleuth lets us know where they are then. No point in going over to look for them. They've probably left Paris by now. I wouldn't be surprised if the elusive Mr. Oliver wasn't halfway to Rome already. When's the exhumation fixed for?
The day after tomorrow.
It'll be a quiet affair, I take it. No flowers, what?
It will be held under the discreet cover of darkness, as is customary, Lord Peter.
Of course.
We're to be at the cemetery at 6 p.m.
Then I think we might as well go ahead with it, Marbles. After all, it won't make things any worse, will it?
They seem to be having a little trouble unscrewing the coffin lid, Lord Peter.
Yes. That's gruesome, ain't it? Especially with Pemberthy there, spraying formalin like an infernal thurifer at some particularly unwholesome sacrifice. He seems somewhat abstracted this evening, don't you think?
Pemberthy? I'm not surprised. No doctor who's confidently signed a death certificate welcomes having his judgment challenged a mere 3 weeks later. They've done it. Dr. Horner is to do the autopsy, I take it.
Yes, he's a good man, Horner.
Very nice indeed. Excellent. Don't you agree, Pemberthy?
Very good, yes.
Put him down here. Yes. Not much difficulty over this job. It's the best of getting onto it at once, what? Let's see now. Scalpel, please.
There you are.
It's it. Yes, undoubted heart trouble. Don't see any unusual appearances there, do you? Well, I suppose we'd better secure the stomach as it stands. You mind holding while I get this ligature on? The jar's just behind you there. Thanks. I say, look out, you'll have it over.
Sorry, it's all right. I've got it.
A near thing. I won't take all the liver out, just a sample. And sections of the rest, I suppose. Better have a look at the brain while we're about it, I suppose. Have you got the large saw there? Thanks.
A trifle callous, aren't they?
There's nothing to them. Horner does this kind of job several times a week.
Yes, but he needn't be so noisy. Dr. Pemberthy behaves with decorum.
Yes, but he knew old Fentiman and Horner didn't. Yes, Pemberthy.
We ought to be able to get a pretty good idea of when the old boy died from the contents of the stomach. Decomposition is very little advanced owing to an exceptionally well-made coffin. Ooh, beastly business, this. Do you think I was wrong to give the certificate?
No, of course not. You didn't suspect anything wrong with the death itself. The General was over 90. His heart was bound to go at some point.
Yes. But having a patient dug up always makes me worried, you know. It's easy to make a mistake, and one looks an awful fool in court. I'd hate being made to look a fool just at present. I'm thinking that... Great Scott, Horner, don't shout like that. You startled me.
Come and sign this.
Oh, yes, righto, yes. Goodbye, Wimsey. Goodbye, Mr. Mervyn.
Cheerio. Horner told me that the analysis will be ready in about a week's time, Mubbles.
That is correct, Lord Peter.
Then I'll see you in about a week. Meanwhile, I am going down to Chelsea.
Chelsea?
Yes. It's a long time since I saw my young friend Marjorie Phelps. She's an artist, Mubbles, models pottery figurines. I need some advice about the world of art.
Lord
Lord Peter, how nice to see you. Do come in.
Shan't I be in the way?
Not a scrap. You don't mind if I go on working?
Oh, rather not, no. I say, that's attractive, Marjorie.
Rather pretty. But it's a special order and one can't afford to be particular. Well, what can I do for you?
You can tell me all you know about Miss Anne Dorland.
Anne Dorland? Great heavens, you haven't fallen for Anne Dorland, have you? I've heard she's come into an awful lot of money.
You have a perfectly disgusting mind, Miss Phelps. I have not fallen for the lady. If I had, I'd manage my affairs without assistance. And she hasn't come into the money yet, either.
Oh, I thought Lady Dormer left her $500,000 or so.
Well, the old lady made rather a comical will. If her brother, General Fentiman, was still alive when she died, he was to get the bulk of the estate. If he wasn't, it came to Anne Dorland. Now, I've been spending the last fortnight proving that the second of these two is the true bill. At least, nearly proving it. The analysis of the old boy's stomach should make it 100% certain.
I see. And what do you want to know about Anne Dorland?
Well, what's she like?
To look at?
Among other things.
Well, she's rather plain. She has dark, straight hair, cut in a bang across the forehead and bobbed, like a Flemish page.
Mm-hmm.
Her forehead's broad, she has a square sort of face and a straight nose, quite good. Also, her eyes are good, grey, with nice heavy eyebrows, not fashionable a bit. But she has a bad skin and rather sticky-out teeth, and she's dumpy.
How very observant. She's a painter, isn't she?
Well, she paints.
I see. A well-off amateur with a studio, what?
Yes. Lady Dormer was very decent to her. Gave her a big room in her house and let her do more or less what she liked. She gave parties there. Rather incompetently, I'm afraid. She's never really been one of us. I think really she ought to have been something in the city. She has brains, you know. She'd run anything awfully well. But she isn't creative. And then so many of our little lot seem to be running love affairs, and a continual atmosphere of hectic passion is very trying if you haven't got any of your own.
Has Miss Dorland a mind above hectic passion?
Well, no. I dare say she would quite have liked that. But nothing came of it. Why are you so interested in having Anne Dorland analysed?
I'll tell you someday. It ain't just vulgar curiosity. But I say, look here. Suppose I ever wanted to run across her accidentally on purpose, if you follow me. Where should I be likely to find her?
Oh, you do seem thrilled about her. You'd better come with me to the Rushworths' party next week. She's bound to be there. Though when I say party, it'll be pretty deadly. They go in rather for science and improving the submerged tenth and all that. I believe Naomi Rushworth's new young man is going to read a paper on ductless glands.
Ah, yes, they're the latest thing, aren't they?
Oh, yes. They're ever so much more up-to-date than vitamins. The Rushworths are all over glands. In the social sense, I mean. Come along.
I will, Marjorie, I will indeed. Thank you. Morning, Merrills.
Lord Peter. Good morning to you.
Hark, hark, the lark at heaven's gate sings. He is coming, my own, my sweet. Wear it ever so airy a tread. He will be here any moment now.
Who will?
Robert Fentiman.
Ah, I'd almost given up hope in that direction.
So had not I. I said to myself, he is not lost but gone before, and it was so.
But has he returned of his own accord?
Not altogether. He was, if I may so express myself, led. Almost, in fact, led on. Or moor and fen, or crag and torrent, don't you know?
Is Mr. Merville's in?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It is the cannon's opening roar.
Ah, there you are, Wimsey. Morning, Mervils. Now, look here, Wimsey. What's the meaning of all this? Here's that damned detective fellow of yours leading the devil of a dance all over Europe and home again, and then this morning he suddenly turns round and tells me you want to see me here with news about Oliver. What the devil do you know about Oliver?
Oliver? Oh, yes. Yes, he's an elusive personality. Almost as elusive in Paris and Rome as he was in London. Did you have a jolly time abroad, old man? I suppose you didn't like to tell your companion that he and you were chasing a will-o'-the-wisp?
What are you talking about?
Lord Peter, has your detective vouchsafed any explanation of his extraordinary behaviour in keeping us in the dark for over a week as to his and Major Fentiman's movements?
I'm afraid I owe you the explanation, Mervils. You see, I thought it was time that the carrot was dangled before the other donkey. I knew that if we pretended to find Oliver in Paris, Fentiman would be in honour bound to chase after him, because he couldn't really refuse to go without confessing that there was no such person as Oliver. Could you, Major?
Damnation. You cunning little devil.
Do you mean to say that you invented all this story about Oliver, Lord Peter?
The Paris Oliver, yes. I told the sleuth to send a wire from Paris to summon our friend away and keep him away.
But why?
Simple, Murples. To make sure he couldn't stop the exhumation. The stomach analysis was essential, you see. Partly because I wanted absolute proof that the General had died on the evening of the 10th.
Great Scott! Do you know that too? Yes. I suppose if you've exploded Oliver, you must have spilled all the rest of the beans, eh?
If you mean by that expression, are we aware of your disgraceful attempt at fraud, the answer is yes.
Oh, well. I suppose this means I don't get the $500,000 from the old boy after all. Now you've proved he was dead when Great-Aunt Dormer died. I imagine it all goes to the Dorland woman instead.
No.
No?
Of course it does, Lord Peter.
Not necessarily, Murples.
I fail to understand you.
Then listen to this. It's from Dr. Horner. Dear Lord Peter, I'm sending you a line in advance to let you know the result of the autopsy on General Fentiman. As regards the ostensible reason for the investigation, I may say that there was no food in the stomach, and that the last meal had been taken several hours previously. The important point, however, is that, following your own rather obscurely expressed suggestion, I tested the viscera for foreign substances and discovered traces of a powerful dose of digitalin, swallowed not very long previous to decease. As you know, the subject whose heart was already in a weak state, the result of such a dose could not but be fatal, and there is no doubt that the General was deliberately poisoned. I have consequently communicated my findings to the public prosecutor, yours, etc., etc., etc.
You mean he was murdered?
Yes, Fentiman. He was murdered. Inspector Parker of Scotland Yard is now in charge of the case, and if I may say so, it is extremely lucky for you that you had a good bit to lose by the old man's death.
Damn good, old man.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. I'm glad the police appreciate me, at least.
Well, what put you on to this poison idea?
Aristotle, chiefly. He says that one should always prefer the probable impossible to the improbable possible. Now, it was possible, of course, that the General should have died off in that neat way at the most confusing moment, but how much nicer and more probable that the whole thing had been stage-managed.
Yeah.
And then there was the Dorland woman's behaviour. Why was she so dead against compromising on the will? She must have had inside information from somewhere.
Well, that leads on to the question of who did it. Miss Dorland's the obvious suspect, naturally.
She was the only person who stood to benefit from the old boy predeceasing Lady Dormer.
Yes. Well, let's be methodical. Now, the General was apparently as right as rain until about 3:30 on the afternoon of the 10th, when he started off for his sister's house. So the drug must have been given him between then and whenever it was that Robert Fentiman found him dead.
About 8.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, who saw him between those two times?
Oh, now, wait a minute, wait a second. Look, this ain't entirely accurate.
Huh?
He must have taken the stuff between those two times, but it might have been given to him earlier.
Ah.
I mean, suppose, for instance, somebody dropped a poison pill into his usual bottle of soda mints or whatever he used to take.
All right, well, who would have had the opportunity to do that?
Well, Pemberthy, for one.
Yes, well, we'll stick him down as a possible, although he wouldn't have had the slightest motive. Still, we'll put him in the column headed opportunity.
That's right, Charles. I do like your methodical ways.
It's an attraction of opposites. Opportunity number 1, Dr. Pemberthy. Right, who's next? Miss Dorland.
Yes. Now, she goes down under opportunity and motive.
Oh.
She certainly had a big interest in polishing off the old man. And she saw him when he came to see Lady Dormer, and very likely gave him something to eat or drink. So she's a very likely suspect. The only difficulty with her is the problem of getting hold of the drug. You can't get digitalin just by asking for it, you know.
No, at least not by itself. You can get it mixed up with other drugs quite easily. I saw an ad in the Daily Views only this morning offering a pill with half a grain of digitalin in it.
Yes, but that'll have nux vomica in it too, I expect, which is an antidote.
Well, couldn't they be separated?
Well, I think it would require some fairly fancy chemical equipment, Charles. And Anne Dorland is an artist, don't forget, not a scientist.
Well, we'll put Miss Dorland down under means with a query mark, then. Oh, and of course, Penberthy has to go down under means, too. He's the one person who could get the stuff without any bother.
Righty-ho. Now, who's next? The servants at Lady Dormer's.
Right.
Well, any of them who brought him food and drink, at any rate.
Yes, they might have been in collusion with Miss Dorland. Right. Anyone else? I presume we can cross Robert Fentiman off. But what about Brother George? He saw his grandfather that afternoon, so he had the opportunity.
And he'll have to go down under motive as well.
Motive? Or surely not. What did he stand to gain by Miss Dorland's getting the legacy?
Oh, nothing if he knew about it, but I don't think he did. And he was in debt, remember, and Dougal McStuart, the money-lending chappie, was being rather pressing. The General's death meant George would immediately step into 2,000 quid.
Well, that's quite right. Well, down he goes under motive, then. Now, is there any name which appears in all 3 columns of our list? No. But several appear in 2. Well, we'd better start on those. Miss Dorland, I think, is the most obvious. I'll have a round-up among all the chemists who may possibly have supplied her with digitalin. Who's her family doctor?
Don't know. That's your pigeon. Oh, by the way, Charles, I'm supposed to be meeting the girl at a cocoa party or something of the sort tomorrow evening.
Yeah? Well?
Well, you won't pinch her before then, if you can help it, will you?
I'll introduce you to Mrs. Rushworth, Peter, and then I'll have to go and talk to Naomi about her young man.
You're going to leave me, Marjorie?
Have to, I'm afraid. I'm supposed to be a friend of Naomi's. I must show an interest. Mrs. Rushworth, this is Lord Peter Wimsey.
How do you do?
Good evening, Mrs. Rushworth. Thank you so much for allowing me to come along.
Delighted to see you.
Lord Peter is fearfully keen on glands and things, Mrs. Rushworth.
Oh, well,
Oh, are you? Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? Dr. Voronoff, you know, and those marvellous old sheep. Such a hope for all of us. Not that dear Walter is specially interested in rejuvenation.
Walter?
Naomi's intended.
Oh, really? How delightful.
Yes. He says life is long and difficult enough as it is. I think he's so right. And the insurance companies have quite set their faces against it, or so I understand. But the effect on character is so interesting, you know. Are you devoted young criminals by any chance?
Well, they present a very perplexing problem.
How very true. So, perplexing. And just to think that we've been quite wrong about them all these thousands of years. Flogging and bread and water, you know, and Holy Communion, when what they really needed was a little bit of rabbit gland or something to make them just as good as gold. Quite terrible, isn't it? It'll be such a joy for Naomi to be able to help dear Walter in this great work. I hope you will feel eager to subscribe to the establishment of the new clinic.
What new clinic?
Oh, hasn't Marjorie told you about it? The new clinic to make everybody good by glands. That is what dear Walter's going to speak about this evening. He's so keen, and so is Naomi. It was such a joy to me when Naomi told me they were really engaged, you know. Not that her old mother hadn't suspected something, of course, but young people are so odd nowadays, and they keep their affairs so much to themselves.
Yes, they do, don't they?
And now, if you will excuse me if I run off and speak to some other people, won't you? I'm sure you'll be able to amuse yourself. No doubt you have many friends in my little gathering.
Well, no, I don't think that... Well, yes. Good heavens, there's Dr. Penberthy.
Dear Walter! Walter, I couldn't think what had kept you, you know.
Penberthy? Good Lord.
A very sound man. Don't think the worse of his work from seeing him in this crowd. Beggars in a good cause can't be choosers, as we parsons know too well.
Father Whittington, isn't it? From the Bermondsey Mission?
The same. You're Lord Peter Wimsey, I know.
Indeed.
We've got an interest in crime in common, haven't we? I'm interested in this glandular theory. It may throw a great light on some of our heartbreaking problems.
Well, I'm glad to see there's no antagonism between religion and science.
Of course not. Why should there be? We're all searching for truth. Well, hello, here's Penberthy. Looking for you, I fancy.
Ah.
Well, Dr. Penberthy, I've come, you see, to hear you make mincemeat of original sin.
That's very open-minded of you. Excuse me one moment.
Oh, yes, certainly.
I say, Wimsey, you've heard all about Horner's analysis, I suppose?
Yes. Bit of a startler, ain't it?
It's going to make things damnably awkward for me, Wimsey. Among other things, I gave General Fentiman a small prescription for digitalin that afternoon. Oh, nothing like the dose that was found in the body. That was enormous, nearly 2 grains. But I did give him some.
To stimulate his heart?
Yes. He was having extreme difficulty breathing. I've told Inspector Parker, of course, and we've been over my books and chemist receipts together. Fortunately, there is no possibility of my having made a mistake.
Then what are you worried about?
My faulty diagnosis.
Oh, my dear chap, you were hardly to blame. You were expecting the old boy to pop off from heart, and he did pop off from heart. Well, more or less.
Yes. But will a jury see it that way? It really couldn't have happened at a more unfortunate time.
Oh, it'll blow over, Penberthy. That sort of mistake happens 100 times a week. By the way, I gather I'm to congratulate you. When did this get settled? You've been very quiet about it.
I was starting to tell you at that infernal exhumation business, only somebody barged in. Yes, thanks very much. We fixed it up, about a fortnight or 3 weeks ago. You've met Naomi, sweet girl.
No, I haven't, not yet. My friend Miss Phelps carried her off.
Oh, you must come and talk to her later then.
Walter!
Oh, Lord. I think they're waiting for me to begin. See you afterwards.
Look, half a jiff. Look, I really came here... Oh, no, dash it, that's rude. But I'd no idea that you were the lecturer till I spotted you, do you see? I originally came here... Yes, that sounds better. To get a look at Miss Dorland of Fentiman fame. Can you tell me what she is?
I know her to speak to. I haven't seen her this evening. She may not turn up, you know.
Well, isn't she keen on glands, then?
I believe she is, or thinks she is. Anything does for these women as long as it's new, especially if it's sexual. By the way, I don't intend to be sexual.
Oh, well, bless you for that. Well, possibly Miss Dorland will show up later.
Perhaps.
Ah, here's Marjorie.
Oh, excuse me then, won't you?
Yes, of course. Well, Marjorie, have you seen Miss Dorland?
No, she hasn't turned up, I'm afraid.
Anything wrong?
Just Naomi Rushworth. I cannot like that girl, Peter. She hints things.
What particularly?
Well, I started to ask about Anne, and she said she wasn't coming. So I said, oh, why? And she said she wasn't well.
Yes?
Well, then she said, of course, that's only an excuse. She probably doesn't feel like facing people today. The implication being, of course, that Anne's kept away because she's scared everyone will think she killed General Fentiman.
Good Lord. Does everybody here think that?
Yes, because of her chemistry experiments, you see.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. Could you please find somewhere to sit? We are about to start.
Marjorie, what chemical experiments? I thought Miss Dorland was a painter.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Walter Pemberton.
Yes, she was. But a few months ago she went off art a bit. She's now got quite a little laboratory set up at Lady Dormer's instead.
Good Lord.
In that episode of The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club, the parts were played as follows. Lord Peter Wimsey, Ian Carmichael. Robert Fentiman, Alan Cuthbertson. Inspector Parker, Gabriel Wolfe. Mr. Merbles, John Gabriel. Dr. Penberthy, Christopher Emmett. Dr. Horner and Father Whittington, Blaine Fairman. Marjorie Phelps, Rosalind Adams. Mrs. Rushworth, Olwyn Griffiths. Exhumation was adapted by Chris Miller from the book The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers. The programme was produced by Simon Brett. Lord Peter Wimsey. Starring Ian Carmichael as Lord Peter, with Alan Cuthbertson as Robert Fentiman and Gabriel Wolfe as Inspector Parker. The The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers, adapted in 6 episodes by Chris Miller. Episode 5, At Lady Dormer's. Lord Peter Wimsey has discovered that General Fentiman was poisoned by an overdose of digitalin. He has also learned that Miss Anne Dorland, who stood to inherit £500,000 if the General died before his sister, Lady Dormer, had a small chemical laboratory at Lady Dormer's house. Inspector Parker, now in charge of the case, goes round to investigate.
Now, Mrs. Mitchum, may I ask you first how long you've been housekeeper here?
9 years, come March the 1st.
Oh, that's quite a time. So you were here when Lady Dormer, the late Lady Dormer, I should say, adopted Miss Dorland.
Her ladyship didn't adopt Miss Dorland, officer, not as I understand it. More took her into the house, like, and made her a ward. The young lady was a distant cousin, on the female side of the Fentiman family, and an orphan, I'm told.
I see. Thank you. Now, then, on the day before General Fentiman was found dead in the Bellona Club, he came round to see his sister, did he not?
He did.
Miss Dorland had telephoned to tell him that the old lady was dying and he should come at once if he wished to see her alive.
So I believe.
Do you recollect exactly what time he got here?
It would be round about 3:45.
And did he seem quite well?
So far as I could see, he seemed well, yes. Always bearing in mind that he was over 90 and had heard bad news.
Yes, just so, Mrs. Mitchum. Was Miss Dorland alone with Lady Dormer when General Fentiman was announced?
Oh, no. The nurse was there.
Yes, of course. And did they both stay in the room all the time that the General was there?
No. Miss Dorland came out again in about 5 minutes and came downstairs. She came to me in the housekeeper's room, and she looked rather sad. She said, "Poor old dears." Just like that.
Did she say any more?
She said, "They quarrelled, Mrs. Mitchum, ages and ages ago when they were quite young, and they've never seen each other since." Of course, I was aware of that, having been with her ladyship all these years. And then, after a little talk, she went away again. And presently Nellie came in. That's the housemaid.
Yes, how long after was that?
Oh, it would be about 4:30. She came to ask for some brandy for the General, as he was feeling badly.
Oh, indeed.
Yes. The spirits are kept in my room, you see, and I have the key.
And did you see the General when you took the brandy?
I did not take it. I sent it by Nellie.
I see. Well, could I ask Nellie a few questions?
Of course.
There's one last thing, Mrs. Mitchum. Did you see the General again before he left?
No. Miss Dorland informed me later that he had had a heart attack. Ah, Nellie.
Yes, Mrs. Mitchum?
This is Inspector Parker. He's a police officer, and he wants you to give him some information about that time General Fentiman came here. You must tell him what he wants to know, but remember, he's busy, and don't start your chattering. You can speak to Nellie here, officer.
Thank you, Mrs. Mitchum.
Good afternoon.
Now, Nellie, I hear you were sent to get some brandy for the old gentleman. So tell me what happened.
Why, it was like this. After the General had been with Lady Dormer getting on for an hour, the bell rang in her ladyship's room.
Yes?
It was my business to answer that, so I went up. And Nurse Armstrong put her head out and said, "Get me a drop of brandy, Nellie, quick, and ask Miss Dorland to come here. General Fentiman's rather unwell." So I went for the brandy to Mrs. Mitchum, and on the way up with it, I stopped at the studio to tell Miss Dorland.
The studio? Now, where's that?
It's a big room on the first floor built over the kitchen. Used to be a billiard room in the old days with a glass roof. That's where Miss Dorland does her painting and messing about with bottles and things.
Messing about with bottles?
Yes, chemist stuff and things. Ladies have to have their hobbies, you know, not having any work to do.
So the studio also serves as her laboratory?
Suppose you could call it that, yes. She uses it as a sitting room, too.
I see. Oh, well, go on, Nellie, yes.
Well, I gave her Nurse Armstrong's message, and Miss Dorland said, "Oh, dear, Nellie," she said. "Poor old gentleman. It's been too much for him. Give me the brandy, I'll take it along, and you run along and get Dr. Penberthy on the telephone." So I gave her the brandy, and she took it upstairs.
Now, half a minute. Now, did you see her take it upstairs?
Well, no, I don't think I actually saw her go up, but I thought she did.
Yes, I see. And did you telephone Dr. Penberthy?
Well, yes, of course. But while I was waiting to be put through, Miss Dorland called over the stairs to me to say that the General was feeling a little better and would go round to the doctor, instead of him coming here, like. So William, that's the footman, got a taxi. And a few minutes later, the General comes downstairs with Nurse Armstrong and Miss Dorland holding on to him. Looking mortal bad, poor old gentleman, I thought. Anyway, he went off in a taxi and that was the end of it.
Oh, thank you, Nellie. I think that's all I need to know. Now, I wonder if you could take me up to Miss Dorland's studio. She said she'd be there and could spare me a few minutes.
Yeah. She's crying again.
Yes. Does Miss Dorland cry a lot, Nellie?
Recently, yes, all the time.
Since Lady Dormer died, you mean?
Well, no, not exactly. Well, she was very sorry about that, of course. But more in the last week, I mean. She's been very quiet and almost frightened-like.
The last week, you say?
Yes. I think it all started when all this dreadful business came out about the poor old gentleman being murdered.
She seems to have stopped now. Shall we go in?
Very good, sir. Inspector Parker, miss.
Oh, thank you, Nellie.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry to trouble you, Miss Dorland.
Can't help yourself, I suppose. What do you want to know? Oh, do sit down.
Thank you. Well, I'd just like to have any details you can give me about General Fentiman's visit to his sister. Mrs. Mitcham brought him up to the bedroom, I understand?
Yes.
You were there?
Yes.
Well, what happened?
Nothing happened. I took him up to the bed and said, Auntie, here's General Fentiman.
Well, did she say anything?
She said Arthur, that's all. And he said Felicity. And I said you'd like to be alone and went out.
Where did you go then?
I came here.
And then a few minutes later went downstairs to see Mrs. Mitcham?
Yes.
Yes, tell me about the brandy. Nellie brought that up to you here, she says.
Yes.
Did she come right into the room, or did she just knock the door and wait for you out on the landing?
Decent servants don't knock at doors. She came in, of course.
Beg your pardon. Anyhow, you took the brandy from her.
Yes, I told her to go and telephone Dr. Penberthy.
Just so. Then, did you take the brandy straight upstairs?
Yes, of course.
Taking it straight out of Nellie's hands, or did she put it down anywhere on that table, for
How the
instance?
hell should I remember?
I'd be grateful if you could.
Well, I can't.
Never mind, then. You took the brandy upstairs, anyway.
Yes, well, it isn't really upstairs. Auntie's room is just 6 stairs up across the landing.
I see. And then Nurse Armstrong gave the General the brandy?
Yes.
Yes. Well, could you tell me how I could get hold of Nurse Armstrong?
Yes, I've got her address over here somewhere.
Ah.
Where is it?
Do you mind if I look around?
Not at all.
This is the laboratory bench, is it?
Oh, that's nothing. I don't do any of that muck now. It's just a passing craze. I paint, really. What do you think of that on the easel?
Oh, it's very good. These your work, too?
Yes.
Yes, you do mostly figure studies, I see.
Yes, here you are, Nurse Armstrong's dress.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's just one more question, Miss Dorland. Did you know, before Lady Dormer died, before General Fentiman came to see her, did you know what provision she'd made for you and for him in her will? Well?
No. No, of course not. Why should I? Oh, go away, go away. You make me sick.
I thought they were pretty frightful, frankly, Peter. But then I'm not well acquainted with the modern school of thought in painting. Faces like eggs, limbs like rubber aren't portraiture, as I understand it.
Oh, well, I wish I'd been there. I'd like to have seen them.
Oh, they might have conveyed something to you. You're artistic. Oh, you can come along and look at them any time, of course, if you want to.
You haven't had them taken away for examination, then?
Oh, no. Only the chemical apparatus and substances. Mm-hmm. Even that's a bit of useless nonsense, really. Anything suspicious would obviously have been destroyed weeks ago.
Yeah, very true.
And anyway, Peter, the time factor worries me. I mean, supposing she did buy some digitalin mixed with an antidote, suppose she was able to separate the two using that equipment. And supposing she did give it to the old boy in his B&S, why should it take all that time to work? According to Penberthy, an enormous dose like that would take effect pretty quickly.
In what way, Charles? I mean, what would the symptoms have been?
Sickness, vertigo, that sort of thing. Penberthy also said that any sudden movement, the old boy springing to his feet suddenly, for instance, would have been liable to cause sudden syncope and death.
You know, I think I would like to see those pictures.
Eh? Oh. Very well. But, Peter, if Anne Dorland didn't do it, well, we ought to examine the other suspects, oughtn't we? Penberthy, I suppose, is still technically on the list, although there's no possible motive there. And, well, how about George Fentiman? And after all, bar Robert, he was the last interested person to see the General alive.
Yes, George Fentiman. He is the nearest in point of time. In fact, he fits it very well in point of time. He and the General were in the taxi together from about 5:45 until about past. And Robert found the old boy dead at about 8 o'clock. So, allowing that the stuff was given in a pill...
Which it would have to be in a taxi.
Yes, as you say, in a pill, which would have taken a bit longer than the same stuff taken in solution. Then the General might quite well have been able to get to the Bellona and see Robert before collapsing.
Very nice. But how did George get the drug?
Yes, I know. Well, that is the first difficulty.
Yeah, and how did he happen to have it on him just at that time? He couldn't possibly have known that General Fentiman had run across him just at that moment.
Well, he might have been carrying the stuff about with him, waiting for a good opportunity to use it. Don't forget George needed 1,500 desperately to pay Dougal McStewart, Charles.
Yes, I realise that. In fact, that's the main reason I put a man on to make inquiries at his home this morning.
George's home?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't.
Why not?
Oh, well, couldn't you have given thought for his wife, Charles? Sheila is not well, you know. It's not fair to harry her at home.
Hardly Harry, old man.
Do you know, I suddenly wish I'd left this case alone. What the deuce did it matter if old Fentiman was pushed off painlessly a bit before his time? He was simply indecently ancient. I wash my hands of the whole business, Charles. There's nothing for me to do now that you've come into it. It bores and annoys me. Let's talk about something else. All right, Bunter, I'll answer it. Hello, Wimsey speaking.
Is that Lord Peter?
Yes?
Oh, good. This is Sheila Fentiman. Do you know where George is?
Well, I've no idea. Hasn't he come home? It's nearly midnight.
No, and I'm frightened. Some people were here this morning.
The police, yes.
Yes, I can't say it all over the phone, but you know George got a job as a car salesman at Walmsley Hubbard's.
Uh-huh.
He took a car out this morning and, well, they say he never came back, and you remember that time he was so funny before and got lost?
I do indeed. I'll come round at once, Sheila.
Oh, thank you so much.
Not at all. And I'll also try to get hold of Robert. I think he ought to know as well. Toodaloo.
Goodbye.
Lord Peter.
Hello, Sheila.
Shh. It's so good of you to come, but I say, please don't make a noise, will you? The Munses complain, you know.
Who are the Munses?
Landlord and landlady.
Oh, blast them, let her complain. Why shouldn't you make a row when you're worried about George? After you. Besides, if we whisper, they'll think we are no better than we ought to be, what? Now then, my child, what is all this about? Good gracious me, you are as cold as a pesh melba. Well, no wonder, the fire's half out. Now, let me put some coal on it.
It's all right, really. I'm...
I brought half a bottle of whiskey with me. You better have a spot.
Oh, no, thank you. Lord Peter, George is...
Well, have some Bovril, then. You must have something. Now, come on. Sit down, I'll make you some.
Lord Peter, I must tell you about George.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a bully. Forgive me. Yes, tell me about George.
Well, as I said, I'm terribly afraid it's his shell shock again.
Ah.
Ever since the story of the murder came out, you see, he's been very nervy and jumpy, and in the last 2 days he started, well, muttering.
Oh, dear. Does that mean another of his queer fits coming on?
That's what I'm afraid of, yes. If he's lost his memory again, Lord Peter, he may be wandering around anywhere, and you know how little care he takes of himself when he's like that.
Yes, I do indeed. When did you see him last?
At breakfast. That was when the police arrived.
Tell me about that.
Well, we were sitting at the table there. I sit facing the window, and I saw these two men coming up the path. Carelessly, I said, "Hello, who are these? They look like plainclothes policemen." Well, at that, George jumped up and rushed out of the room. I heard him rummaging in the bedroom, and I was just going to see what he was up to when Mr. Munns ushered the police in.
Who's that?
Oh, that'll be Mrs. Munns. I'll have to see what she wants. Yes?
There you are, Joe. See? I told you. suppose there was something behind all this talk of the captain being missing? You didn't expect him to be missing, I suppose, Ma'am. Oh, dear, no. Nor your gentleman friend, neither, driving up in a big car, and you waiting at the door so's Muns and me shouldn't hear. Not to speak of the police coming here this morning. Up to something they've been, I'd say, Joe. The pair of them.
Yeah, that's right. What's the meaning of it, eh?
Mr. and Mrs. Muns, I believe. Well, I'm so glad you've come along. I was just about to come over and offer you a drink.
Oh,
Whiskey?
Drink? Oh, the impudence!
Mr. Muns, you'll have a spot with me.
Don't you dare, Joe Muns.
Well, I don't know.
No.
Yes. I can see you're a gentleman, sir. Why not?
Splendid. Sheila, you have one too.
Thanks. Joe Muns, put that down at once. Call yourself a man, you...
Oh, shut up.
Oh!
Sorry about that, sir, Mrs. Fentiman. Well, here's friends all round, eh?
Mud in your eye?
Yeah. Well, you'll allow it. It looked a bit queer, though, didn't it? I mean, the police this morning asking all them questions and emptying the dustbin all over the backyard.
Really? Did they find anything, Mrs. Muns?
Find? Them find anything? I said, if you want to come upsetting my dustbin, you'll have to come with a search warrant, I said. Well, that's the law, and they couldn't deny it. They can either come here in a fitting way, or they can go and whistle for their bottle.
What bottle?
The bottle they were looking for in my dustbin, what the captain put there after breakfast. What?
What bottle was that, Mrs. Muns?
Oh, one of them little tablet bottles. Same as you have, standing on the washhand stand, Mrs. Fentiman. When I saw the captain smashing it up in the yard with a poker...
There now, Primrose. Can't you see as Mrs. Fentiman ain't well?
No, I'm quite all right. What was my husband doing? Well, he was breaking up this bottle and throwing the bits in the dustbin. Hello, I said. That's funny. I went to see what it was, and I put it in an envelope, thinking, you see, as it might be something poisonous. And the cat's such a dreadful thief as he is, I never can keep him out of that dustbin. Anyway, I kept it. Because, you see, I thought, if the police did return with a warrant, and I destroyed the bottle, where should I be?
Quite right, Mrs. Muns. But I say, look here, Captain Fentiman had shell shock after the war, and he's liable to do these little odd things at times. Break things up, I mean, and lose his memory and go wandering about.
Ah.
So Mrs. Fentiman is naturally anxious about his not having turned up this evening. Ah, that must be Robert, Captain Fentiman's brother. I asked him to come round. Could you let him in, Mr. Muns, please?
Yeah, all right, I'll go.
Mrs. Muns, Mrs. Fentiman ain't feeling at all well. We'd better get her to bed as soon as possible. Have you got such a thing as a hot water bottle?
Yes, I have.
Oh, thank you. Now then, Sheila, everything's going to be all right.
Can't you get hold of that bottle, Lord Peter? Make her give it to you.
Well, I better not. It'll look suspicious. But I say... Ah, Robert, there you are.
What's up, Wimsey?
Well, you look half a tick. Sheila, what exactly was that bottle?
My heart medicine. I missed it, and it contained digitalin.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Wimsey, it's you. Is Sheila all right?
Yes, Mrs. Munn says she's fast asleep.
Oh, good. Poor little woman.
Yeah, beastly for her, ain't it?
Oh, it's pretty damnable all round. Look here, Wimsey. What are we to do about this Muns female? It's the devil and all she should have got hold of the stuff. If they find out what it's supposed to be, we shall be blackmailed for the rest of our lives.
No, I'm sorry, old man, but the police have got to know about this.
My God! You wouldn't!
Now, sit down, Fentiman. Yes, I must. Don't you see that I must? We cannot suppress things. It always means trouble. It's not as though they hadn't got their eyes on us already, you know. They're suspicious.
Yes, and why? Who put it into their heads?
Well, I did, but the law...
Oh, for God's sake, don't start talking about law and justice. Law and justice? You sell your best friend for the sake of making a sensational appearance in the witness box? You infernal little police spy?
Now, chuck that, Fentiman.
I'll not chuck it. You make me sick.
I tried to keep out of this.
You tried? Don't be a blasted hypocrite. You get out of it now and stay out, do you hear?
Now listen to me.
Get out!
You won't do George any
Never
good,
mind that. Are you going to hold your tongue, or do I have to stop your mouth with my fist?
Be reasonable, Fentiman.
Reason be damned! Are you going to the police? No shuffling? Yes or no?
Yes.
You dirty little sprat!
Now, look here. It's no odds to me what you do or say. You think your brother murdered your grandfather. I don't know whether he did or whether he didn't. But the worst thing you can do for him is to try to destroy evidence. And next time you try to smash anybody's face in, remember to cover up your chin. That's all. Good night.
Mrs. Mitchum, good morning.
Oh, good morning, officer.
This is Lord Peter Wimsey.
Good morning, my lord.
Good morning, Mrs. Mitchum. I was rather hoping I could see Miss Dorland. Is she in by any chance?
No, my lord. She's gone away.
She's gone away? Where?
I don't know, officer. A young lady, a young woman, I should say, came round yesterday evening, and about 10 o'clock I heard the front door slam. I thought it was just her leaving. But this morning I found a note from Miss Dorland, saying as how she'd gone to stay with a friend, and she'd be back in a day or two.
Great Scott. Oh, we must find out where she is at once.
Now, Charles, there is no need to get excited.
What?
There's plenty of time for that later. And anyhow, what I really wanted to see was Miss Dorland's studio, not the lady herself. May we take a look at it, Mrs. Mitchum?
Certainly, my lord.
Oh, thank you. Well, now, come along, Charles. I want you to show me round.
But, Peter, we've got...
Look, Charles, you must decide which of our two chief suspects you're really after. Just now you were saying that George's guilt was virtually proved by his disappearance. Are you now going to say the same about Miss Dorland?
No, but we can't just let her...
What was it that Nurse Armstrong said to you when you interviewed her this morning? That in her view, Miss Dorland wouldn't have had time to put anything in the brandy, wasn't it?
Yes, but the point... Well, this is the studio, Peter.
Well, this one?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, there's not much to look at, really.
Still the books and paintings. Books, you know, Charles, are like lobster shells. We surround ourselves with them, and then we grow out of them and leave them behind as evidences of our earlier stages of development. And let's see.
I say, Quain's Dictionary of Medicine over here, the bookmarked action of certain poisons.
Oh, that's interesting. Louis Berman's The Personal Equation. And here's Why We Behave Like Human Beings. Julian Huxley's essays, too. Quite a determined effort at self-education, what?
Our girls seem to go into that sort of thing nowadays.
Yes, hardly nice, is it? Hello, Austin Freeman. Oh, bless me, she must have ordered them wholesale. Through the Wall. That's a good tech story, Charles. All about the third degree. Isabel Ostrander, 3 Edgar Wallaces. Oh, the girl's been indulging in an orgy of crime.
I shouldn't wonder. That fellow Freeman's full of plots about poisonings and wills and survivorship, isn't he? Would you like to look at the paintings?
They're righty here.
Pretty awful.
Well, don't try to break it gently. Just show me the worst at once. Oh, Lord.
Yes, well, it gave me a pain, but I thought perhaps that was my lack of artistic education.
No, it was your natural good taste, Charles. Oh, it's got vile colour, and even viler drawing.
But nobody cares about drawing nowadays, do they?
Ah, but there is a difference between the man who can draw and won't, and the man who can't draw at all. Go on, let me see the rest. Oh, good gracious me. Those, Charles, are the paintings of a completely untalented person, who is, moreover, trying to copy the mannerisms of a very advanced school. By the way, you've noticed, of course, that she's been painting within the last few days and chucked it in sudden disgust.
Huh?
Well, she's left the paints on the palette, and the brushes are still stuck in the turps, turning their ends up and generally ruining themselves. Suggestive, I fancy. What is it that happened a few days ago that upset her so much?
The revelation about the murder, I suppose. When I saw her, she'd been crying. Oh, incidentally, that was something else Nurse Armstrong said. She said Miss Dorland was a brisk young woman, walked quickly and well, had a deep melodious voice. I hardly recognised the description. When I saw the girl, she was droopy and sullen.
Yes. I say, let me have a look at that one again. The portrait, you know, the man's head.
Oh, this one?
Yes, that's the one. Put it on the easel. Now, that is very interesting. The others, do you see, are all an effort to imitate other people's art. But this is an effort to imitate nature. Now, why? It's very bad, but it's meant for somebody. It's been worked on a lot. Now, what was he made to do that?
Well, it wasn't for his beauty, I shouldn't think.
No. But it reminds me of somebody, though.
Who?
Well, it escapes me for the moment. Cover up one eye, Charles.
Oh.
No, not yours, you ass. The portraits. Do you know the limerick about the old man of Khartoum?
Well, what did he do?
He kept 2 black sheep in his room. They remind me, he said, of 2 friends who are dead, but I cannot remember of whom. Great Scott! I've got it. I knew this room would tell me something.
But you recognize this ugly mug?
Yes, I think I do, but I'm not quite sure what it means.
Is it important?
I think it might be.
But who is it?
Well, Charles, it looks like... No, I am not going to tell you, Charles. I told you about that George business this morning because glass bottles are facts, and one mustn't conceal facts. But this is still only a thought.
A penny for your thoughts, then.
No, Charles. Not even 30 pieces of silver.
In that episode of The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club, the parts were played as follows. Lord Peter Wimsey, Ian Carmichael, Robert Fentiman, Alan Cuthbertson, Inspector Parker, Gabriel Wolfe, Sheila Fentiman, Francis Jeter, Anne Dorland, Amanda Rice, Mrs. Munns and Mrs. Mitchum, Isanne Churchman, Nellie, Judy Bridgeland, Mr. Munns, Clifford Norgate. At Lady Dormer's was adapted by Chris Miller from the book The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers. The programme was produced by Simon Brett. Lord Peter Wimsey. Starring Ian Carmichael as Lord Peter, with Alan Cuthbertson as Robert Fentiman, Martin Jarvis as George Fentiman, and Gabriel Wolfe as Inspector Parker. The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers, adapted in 6 episodes by Chris Miller. Episode 6, Anne Dorland. Lord Peter Wimsey and Inspector Parker are investigating the murder by poisoning of old General Fentiman. The 2 people with the strongest motives, Anne Dorland, his late sister's ward, and George Fentiman, his grandson, have both suddenly disappeared. After a visit to Anne Dorland's studio to look at her paintings, the 2 detectives go to a nearby pub for lunch.
Wimsey! Hello. I hear you're working on the Fentiman case.
Hello, Sally. Yes. Charles, this is Sorghum Hardy, chief crime reporter of the Daily Yell.
We know each other.
Too well, Inspector. Well, how's it all going? Do we say that an arrest is imminent, eh?
Why don't you tell us your version, Sally? Your opinion is as good as anybody's.
Mine? Well, same as yours, same as everybody's. The girl was in league with the doctor, of course. Pretty obvious, isn't it?
Well, this may be. It's certainly possible, if we can prove a connection between them. Well, of course, they were both occasional visitors at Mrs. Rushworth's house. In fact, Pembroke is now engaged to Naomi Rushworth. But there's no evidence that he and Anne Dorland ever knew each other well.
But you ass sheep. No, I won't dash you. Fish it out for yourselves.
What's that, Wimsey?
No, nothing at all. We've just been round to Lady Dormer's, Sally, looking at some of Miss Dorland's portraits.
Oh, yeah? And?
Well, they weren't very good. But one in particular was quite revealing.
Oh. Well, anyway, Inspector, look here. Any chance of your arresting Pembroke and Miss Dorland today? Because if so, you will let me know, won't you?
Not a chance, old man. I can't arrest them without evidence. Unless you can prove to me that they knew each other well, and knew the contents of the will, I've got nothing to go on. And also, you've got to explain why, if they did know about the will, they delayed killing the General until the last minute.
Well, that's clear enough.
What?
The old lady looked like seeing him into the grave easily. It was only when she contracted pneumonia that it became necessary to take steps to ensure he died first.
That's reasonable. Well, I wonder how Penberthy's share of the boodle was to be transferred to him.
Oh, it's simple if you know Penberthy. Now, look here. Here's this doctor. Not rich. Retired army surgeon with a brass plate in a consulting room in Harley Street. Lives on a few old dodderers down at the Bellona. Has an idea, if only he could start one of these clinics for rejuvenating people, he could be a millionaire. Then this girl comes along. She's a rich old woman's heiress, and he goes after her. It's all fixed up. He's to accommodate her by removing the obstacle to the fortune, and she obligingly responds by putting the money into his clinic. In order not to make it too obvious, she has to pretend to get a dickens of an interest in rejuvenating glands. So she starts turning up regularly at the Rushworths for meetings. Not a bit clearer. Well, Inspector, that solved your case for you.
Yeah.
How about you doing me a good turn now and letting me know when you're going to arrest them?
I shall need a bit more proof first, Hardy. It's not enough to prove they were acquainted. I want someone who's seen them talking together at least. And they're hardly going to communicate with each other now.
Well, of course not. They've quarrelled.
Huh? Well, how the devil do you know that?
Because, Charles, you have got it all wrong.
What?
Well, at least I think you have. You may have got the right solution, but the working of the sum is all wrong. Same as mine used to be at school when I'd looked up the answer in the crib and had to fudge the middle part. Look, I do not believe this story about bribing and corrupting Penberthy and getting him to do the murder. It don't fit.
It don't fit what?
Look, it don't fit the portrait or the books. Or what Nurse Armstrong said about Anne Dorland being brisk and alert. It's a mechanically perfect explanation, but I swear it's all wrong.
If it's mechanically perfect, it's good enough for me. It's far more than most explanations are. You've got that portrait on the brain, Wimsey. It's because you're artistic, I suppose.
Oh, artistic, big ham. This is because I am an ordinary person and have met women and talked to them like ordinary human beings.
Oh, you and your women.
Well, I and my women, what about it? Learn something. You are on the wrong track, Charles, about this girl.
Look, I've met her. You haven't. She impressed me as being guilty.
And I will swear that she ain't guilty.
Yeah, and then why has she run away?
She hasn't run away. She was taken away by a woman friend. No doubt to get her out of that awful house.
Oh, you must know, of course.
But you haven't any real evidence for your theories, if it comes to that.
No, I don't despair of getting all the evidence necessary, provided you don't keep me here all day. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, Sally, what a piece of a case this is. What a silly, sordid row.
Oh, don't worry, Wimsey. Heat of the moment and all that. Patch it up later.
Yes, I suppose so. Well, my spirit needs soothing anyway. I shall go and have tea with Marjorie Phelps. Oh, hello. Well, good afternoon.
Miss Phelps is out.
Oh. Will she be long?
Half an hour or so.
Oh, do you think I might come in and wait?
I expect so, if you're a friend of hers.
Yeah, thank you. Well, then,
What do you want?
Want?
Yes. You've come to have a look at me, haven't you?
I came to see Miss Phelps.
And you, the famous sleuth.
Oh, I am sorry. Oh, no. Look, I am really awfully sorry to seem so stupid, but honestly, I had no idea who you were until this moment.
Hadn't you? Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
Look here, would you like me to go?
You can please yourself.
Well, if you really mean that, Miss Dorland, I should like to stay. I've been wanting to meet you, you know.
That was nice of you. First you wanted to defraud me, and now you're trying to...
To what?
Yours is not a pleasant hobby, Lord Peter Wimsey.
Will you believe me when I assure you that I was never a party to Robert Fentiman's fraud? In fact, I showed it up.
Very well, if you say so, I must believe it. Oh, do sit down.
Oh, thank you. Well, let's talk about something ordinary till Miss Phelps comes in, shall we?
What do you want to talk about?
Well, now, well, it's rather embarrassing, really. Books. What have you been reading lately?
Nothing much.
I don't know what I'd do without books. Reading's an escape to me, do you know? Is it to you?
How do you mean?
Well, it is to most people, I think. Do you know, I remember when something perfectly grinding and hateful happened to me once. I was in a nursing home with... Well, it was with shell shock, actually. I read detective stories all day. They're about the only thing I could read. All the others had the war in them, or love, or some damn thing I didn't want to think about.
I understand.
You've been through it, haven't you?
Everything's pretty hateful, isn't it?
Something's hurt you. Yes, all right. Well, now, don't talk about it if you don't want to. A man?
Usually is a man, isn't it?
Practically always. Fortunately, one gets over it, particularly if one tells somebody about it.
Some things are so beastly.
Oh, yes, there's quite a lot of things. Birth is beastly, and death. Indigestion, if it comes to that. Sometimes when I think of what's happening inside me to a beautiful supreme de soul with caviar in boats and the croutons and the jolly old little twists of potato and all the gadgets, I could cry. That's better. Look here, you've been brooding over this and you're seeing it all out of proportion. Let's be practical and frightfully ordinary. Is it a baby?
Oh, no.
Well, that's rather a good thing, because babies, though no doubt excellent in their way, take a long time and come expensive. Is it blackmail?
Oh, good heavens, no.
Good. Because blackmail is even longer and more expensive than babies. But is it Freudian or sadistic or any of those popular modern amusements?
I don't believe you'd turn a hair if it was.
Why should I? What did the blighter do?
He said I imagined things. He said I had a mania about sex. I suppose you would call it Freudian, really.
Is that all? I know plenty of people who would take that as a compliment. But obviously you don't. What exact form of mania did he suggest?
Oh, the gibbering sort that hangs round church doors for curates. It's a lie. He did pretend to want me and all that. The beast, I can't tell you the things he said.
Oh, poor kid. Look here, this fellow... Was it Pemberthy, by the way?
How did you know?
Well, the portrait, and lots of other things. The things you liked once and then wanted to hide away and forget. You got to know him at the Rushworths, I take it. When?
Nearly 2 years ago.
Were you keen on him then?
No, I was keen on somebody else. Only that was a mistake, too. But later on, Dr. Pemberthy... Oh, I don't know, he walked home with me once or twice, and then he asked me to dine with him in Soho.
Had you at the time told anyone about this comic will of Lady Dormer's?
How could I? I never knew anything about it till after she died.
Yes, I believe you. I expect he'd heard all about the family quarrel with the General and assumed you'd inherit her money. Did he ask you to marry him?
I thought he did, but he says he didn't. We talked about founding his clinic. I was to help him.
Did your aunt know anything about the engagement?
He didn't want her to be told. He was afraid she might think he was after the money.
Yes, and I dare say he was. Did you tell any of your friends?
No.
You were still engaged when Lady Dormer died, I take it?
As engaged as we ever were.
Look here, I'm going to give you a bit of a shock, but it'll have to come sooner or later. Has it ever occurred to you that it was Pemberthy who murdered General Fentiman?
I wondered. I couldn't think who else. But then I thought they suspected me. I didn't, you know.
Well, of course not. It was Pemberthy. I look at it like this. The General heard that afternoon that this legacy was coming to him. He toddled along to see Pemberthy, feeling very groggy, and promptly told him about it. Well, you can imagine him saying, "You've got to patch me up long enough to get the money." Nasty jar for Pemberthy. So what does he do? He gives him a slow-working type of pill, probably a powder in a very tough capsule, and he bundles him off home. Unfortunately, the General goes down to the Bellona instead, and he dies there. Robert Fentiman finds the body and hides it, with the result that the old boy's death ain't discovered till the next evening. Well, now, this puts Pemberthy in a bad fix. He can't draw attention to the peculiar appearance of the corpse because he daren't risk a post-mortem. On the other hand, if he keeps quiet, the money may be lost and all his trouble will be wasted. So he puts the time of death as early as he dares and hopes for the best. But the one thing I don't understand is why he didn't then persuade you to compromise with the Fentimans from the start. That would have made him absolutely safe.
Oh, but he tried to. And I was so furious at the thought of you all trying to defraud me. Not for myself, you understand, for the clinic. That I wrote to Mr. Pritchard, my solicitor, telling him to have a proper inquiry made and on no account to agree to divide the money. That was what started our first quarrel.
But you changed your mind?
Yes. He eventually persuaded me and we were friends again.
And the next day was the day he broke the engagement.
Yes. How did you know?
Because I had just been on the telephone to him and told him there was going to be an autopsy. He realized that if he was known to be engaged to you, he was absolutely bound to be suspected. So he hurried to cut the connection with you, purely in self-defense.
I see, but why do it in that brutal way?
Because, my dear, he knew that that particular accusation would be the very last thing a girl of your sort would tell people about. He made it absolutely impossible for you to claim him publicly, and he bolstered it up by engaging himself to the rush with female.
He didn't care how I suffered.
No. It was a perfectly diabolical thing to do.
Lord Peter, how will I ever be able to prove that I wasn't in league with Dr. Pemberthy? After all, our quarrel and his getting engaged to Naomi could have just been a put-up job between us to get us both out of a difficulty.
Well, I don't know yet. But I know you're straight. And I'll damn well see you through. Better answer it, I suppose. Hello?
Wimsey. It's taken me hours to track you down.
Ah, Charles.
Listen, George Fentiman has just been found in Clerkenwell. He's at the police station. He's given himself up.
Given? Whatever for?
For the murder of his grandfather.
Charles!
Oh, Peter, there you are. His wife and Penberthy are with him at the moment.
Penberthy?
He's his doctor, old man.
Can I go in?
Yes, yes.
George. I've told them all about it. He's asleep. Don't wake him.
Who's asleep, dearest?
Oh, I mustn't say the name. He'd hear it, even in his sleep. Even if you whispered it. But he's tired and he nodded off. So I ran in here and told them all about it while he snored, before he could wake and stop me.
George, everything's all right.
No. You don't understand. He is me, and I am him. I killed my grandfather by giving him digitalin. I didn't remember till I saw the name on the bottle, but I did it. They've been following me about ever since, so I know he must have done it. He told me to smash the bottle so that you shouldn't find out, and they know I was the last person to see him. He's very cunning. Creep up on him quickly now that he's asleep, and bind him in chains, and cast him into the pit. And then I shall be able to sleep. Oh, I'm going to bed, Sheila. I'm going to bed. It's time to go to bed.
Yes, dear. It's time to go to bed.
Tired. Very tired. Off to bed, old girl. Off to bed.
Mrs. Fentiman.
Yes?
The sergeant's made up a bed in another room. Would you like to take your husband there?
Yes, of course. Thank you. He didn't do it, Inspector. It's the old trouble come back again. He thinks he's the devil, you know. He's been like this twice before.
Yes, of course. Don't worry.
Thank you. Come along, George.
So sleepy. Tired? Very tired.
So give Mrs. Fentiman a hand, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
So tired.
Well, Penberthy?
Nervous shock with well-marked delusions. 100 years ago, they'd have called it diabolic possession, but we know better.
Well, yes, but is he under a delusion in saying he murdered his grandfather, or did he actually murder him under the influence of this diabolical delusion?
Can't say at present.
Thank you, Doctor. Perhaps you'd come in and see your patient tomorrow morning?
Of course. Well, if that's all, Inspector, I'll be moving along.
Certainly.
Oh, Penberthy, come round to the Bellona with me for a moment, would you? I'd rather like to have a word with you.
Oh, righto.
Let's go down to the end. It's quieter there.
It's always quiet here. I've never known anyone use this library.
Except General Fentiman. He died here. Hey, let's sit down.
Ah. Well, what is it?
You've been a soldier, Penberthy. I think you're a decent fellow. You've seen George Fentiman. It's a pity, ain't it?
Yes, but what about it?
If George Fentiman hadn't turned up with that delusion of his, I would have seen to it that you were arrested for murder this evening. Now, the point is this. When you are arrested, nothing as things are can prevent Miss Dorland being arrested on the same charge. Now, she's quite a decent girl, and you haven't treated her any too well, have you? Don't you think you might make things right for her by telling the truth straight away? You see, if once they get her into the dock, she'll always be a suspected person, even if the jury believe her story, and they may not. She's plain, she's sulky, she's, well, not very articulate. She might make a bad impression. I say even if they do believe her story, people will always think that there's something in it. That's damning for a girl, ain't it? They might even bring her in guilty. You and I know that she isn't. But you don't want the girl hanged, Penberthy, do you?
What do you want me to do?
Write a clear account of what actually happened. Make it clear that Miss Dorland had nothing to do with it.
And then?
Well, then, do as you like. In your place, I know what I would do.
Very well. You're quite right. I ought to have done it before. Damn it. I didn't intend to be such a sweep to the Dorland girl, Wimsey. I'd have been decent to her if I'd married her. And I never meant to get led into all this rotten way of doing things either. It was just self-defense. I still don't care a damn about having killed the old man. I could have made better use of the money than Robert Fentiman. He hasn't got two ideas in his head, and he's perfectly happy where he is. Though I hear his colonels asked him to hand in his papers. As for Anne, she ought to be grateful to me in a way. I've secured her the money anyway.
Not unless you make it clear she had no part in the crime.
That's true. All right. I'll put it all on paper for you. Give me half an hour, will you?
Of course. I'll be next door in the smoking room. I brought Colonel Marshbanks along. He'll witness your statement with me. Have you finished?
Yes, I've tried to be as brief as possible.
Good.
Will it do?
Yes, this is perfectly all right. Do you agree, Colonel?
I do.
Thank you.
And Dr. Penberthy, now that the paper is in Lord Peter Wimsey's hands, you understand that he can only take the course of communicating with the police. But as that would cause a great deal of unpleasantness to yourself and to other people, you may wish to take another way out of the situation. As a doctor, you will perhaps prefer to make your own arrangements. If not, I happen to have brought this with me from my private locker. I'm placing it here, in this table drawer, preparatory to taking it down into the country tomorrow. It is loaded.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Come along, Peter.
Thank you, old man. I'm coming, Colonel.
Come in. I look on these matters from a soldier's point of view, of course, Peter. Much better to make a clean job of it. And yet, sometimes I think the war has had a bad effect on some of our young men. Nowadays, men, and I'm sorry to say women too, let themselves go in a way that is to me quite incomprehensible. I can understand a man's committing murder in hot blood, but poisoning, and then putting a good ladylike girl into such an equivocal position, no. I fail to understand it. Still, the right course is being taken at last.
Motorbike, probably. Eh?
Yes, the right course has been taken at last.
Hey, Fentiman!
Sorry.
Oh, hello, Wimsey.
Well, the Bellona back to normal, I see.
Yes. By the way, I saw George last night. He's getting on splendidly. The doctor says he worked himself into it just out of worry lest he should be suspected. He sent you all sorts of messages, by the way.
Well, I must pop round and see him. How's Robert? How have you been getting on with the heiress and the lawyers and all that lot?
It was a long argument. Miss Dorland insisted on dividing the money, and I said, no, I couldn't think of it. She said it was only hers as the result of a crime, and Pritchard and Merble said she wasn't responsible for other people's crimes, and I said it had looked like my profiting at my own attempted fraud, and she said not at all, and we went on and on, don't you know. That's a damn decent girl, Wimsey.
I know.
There's something very fine and straightforward about her.
Yeah, very true. I wouldn't have thought she was quite your sort, though.
Why not?
Well, hearty and all that. Her looks aren't a strong point, are they?
You needn't be offensive, Wimsey. Surely I may be allowed to appreciate a woman of intelligence and character. I may not be highbrow, but I have some ideas beyond the front row of the chorus. You don't realize how desperately lonely she's been. She had to take up that art business to give her an interest, poor child. But she's really cut out for an ordinary, sensible, feminine life. You may not understand that with your ideas, but she has really a very sweet nature.
Yes, I'm sorry, Fentiman.
She made me ashamed the way she took the whole thing. And I think of the trouble I got her into, owing to my damn dishonest tinkering about with... Well, you know.
My dear man, you are perfectly providential. If you hadn't tinkered about, as you say, she'd be married to Pemberthy by now.
Oh, that's true. And that makes it so amazing of her to forgive me. I mean, she loved that blighter, Wimsey. Oh, you don't know. It's absolutely pathetic.
Well, you'll have to do your best to make her forget it.
Well, I look on that as a duty.
Just so. Well, you doing anything tonight? Care to come and look at a show?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm booked. Taking Miss Dorland to the new thing at the Palladium, in fact. Thought it'd do her good. Buck her up and so on.
Good work.
Well, I better be moving now. Picking her up at 7.
Righty-ho.
Cheerio, then, Wimsey.
Cheerio, Fentiman. And good luck.
In that, the last episode of The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club, the parts were played as follows. Lord Peter Wimsey, Ian Carmichael, Robert Fentiman, Alan Cuthbertson, George Fentiman, Martin Jarvis. Inspector Parker, Gabriel Wolfe, Anne Dorland, Amanda Rice, Sheila Fentiman, Francis Jeter, Dr. Penberthy, Christopher Emmett, Colonel Marchbanks and Sally Hardy, Wilfred Carter. Anne Dorland was adapted by Chris Miller from the book The Unpleasantness at the Bellona Club by Dorothy L. Sayers. The programme produced by Simon Brett.